And we're live. All right, everyone. Welcome to the 51st MapperCast podcast. This time with more guests. Mervu Moraine, the first mapper, should be joining us next week, assuming schedule doesn't change again. Unfortunately, as you can see, we have three guests and only four MapperCast members. A lot of us couldn't make it today, so regardless, we can still have a great show. So, as always, list of topics in the description below. You can go read them. I'm going to read them anyway. And the links to the channels for those are in the podcast today, are also in the description. And as always, the first topic is, well, actually, it's not going to be discussing someone's series, but we'll be discussing the World Cup 2018, mostly our predictions and stuff. And it will be and then for the mapper winner, we have, well, it was a mapping, but he chose the. Uh, did I write it in the description? Oh yeah, RedEmoji Mapping. I think he was one of the Mapper tournament participants. But yeah, we'll be discussing about the future of Brazil series. And a fan request: what is your view on Electoral College? I felt like we talked about this before, but we can do it again. And then we can do a wildcard topic, and then we'll be announcing some MapperCast project we're working on, which I'm not actually directly involved. And there will be discussing if we think about creating a fictional political ideology is a good idea in mapping, and then we'll be asking about some things we want to see change in mapping, and then we'll be discussing Colombia joining NATO's global partnership program, and the free for all, and then a quiz select map winner and fan winner, and then we say goodbye. As always, here this is the very boring Void Viper who somehow got memed for saying I gotta go to the toilet.
Okay. Hey everybody, Cosmic here. Let's have a great show today. Let's get right into it.
Hey everybody, it's Mindria here.
Hello there, I'm the Red of Mapping and Jeb Bush from MapperCast 2018.
Yes.
Hey everyone, it's the usual guest Alp here. Let's have a great show.
Freeze.
What is up, guys? I'm back from the dead. It was like, 2 years ago since I was last on the show. My name's Freeze Pond. You probably don't know me, but hello. Okay. Also, we have Imperial.
I'm Imperial. Hello, everyone. First time on MapperCast. My profile picture is not the correct one. I'm updating it right now. Might take some time.
What's that profile picture?
Is that Mountain Blade?
Yeah. All right, regardless.
That's Dark Souls.
All right, regardless.
That's not Dark Souls.
Yeah, we welcome three guests today. One is a usual guest. So next, the first topic is, you can tell by the title, RIP Croatia. Yes, spoiler alert, France has won, unfortunately.
I mean, it's not like they were arrogant enough.
Brunei should have won, honestly.
We're going to trigger some French.
Wait a second.
Their arrogance will be unbearable. Jeez.
So I'm gonna start off with how I was first cheering for Germany, and then when I saw 1-0 against Mexico, I'm like, what happened to Germany's glorious 2014? And then they lose to South Korea, and they barely won against Sweden. It's like, well, Germany's done. And then I was rooting for Russia to win in their home country, because Russia's been doing pretty good.
That didn't succeed very well.
And then they lost Croatia, and
I don't know.
Yeah, Germany wasn't.
And then Belgium defeated Brazil. It's like, yeah. And then
Belgium is the fucking hero. They cocked the English.
I was cheering for Croatia, and they lost. RIP Croatia.
Germany was a pretty fucking tragedy.
Yeah. 4-2. What the heck? I thought Croatia was going to make it another 120-minute game, and nope, they couldn't.
It's a little sad. I was hoping a smaller country would have been able to take. I don't know. My inherent interest for sporting events always starts at a 0. I could not possibly give a shit. Olympics, maybe. I don't know. I'm not really down for that. But sometimes one of these events, there's like a big underdog scenario that I can get a little invested in. So this was like one of those few situations where I ever actually gave a shit about a sporting event, and I don't know. It was a shame to see Croatia lose. It would have been a nice moment.
I mean, I feel like before this,
Chris is like, I like how Mappers gives no shit about footballs, but when countries compete, everyone starts caring.
That's true.
Oh yeah. Why is he?
Oh my god.
Okay.
I mean,
that's true.
There were reports that
Croatia is the first time I had a chance of World Cup, and he lost it. RIP.
Yeah, but let's face the fact. There were reports that the Croatian fans chanted stuff like Croatia overall and death to all Serbs. So
Did you actually do that?
That's bad
Yes,
karma. That's gonna get you
apparently there were
smited.
reports.
And people were saying
But
like,
that's not
"Oh, France is doing a Fortnite dance."
Oh
What?
my god.
What?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently.
one of I saw the GIF of the autism dances, and I did that.
To be honest, Italy should face off Greece. That would be interesting.
Belgium should have won.
Belgium.
Belgium.
No, I was wrong.
I was rooting for them. I liked how
England
they
got
fucked the English over.
Yeah, England was doing so good this year as well. Like so many ones I don't expect to do good this year, and someone do. I guess in Russia things are turned upside down. And so France won. Damn it! I was hoping for Napoleon 2.0.
Napoleon.
Shame.
Yeah.
First I rooted for Germany, then I rooted for Uruguay, and then I rooted for Belgium, then for Croatia.
Should have should have pulled a
Should have been
7-1.
Croatia. America didn't even get qualified this year, right?
Germany?
No, America.
Oh, America. I don't think they can qualify.
Yeah, I think they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. So I
Apparently there's been a
automatically don't have
controversy
anything.
with soccer and
It's
football.
not like I would have rooted for America anyways. We all know my.
They made up their own football because they were bad at the other one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be some
soccer,
trigger
guys.
people in the chat now. All right. So, anyone else have anything to add about the World Cup views?
Like most, I mean, I imagine like before this, like most people probably didn't even know that Croatia existed, and then they were literally the final.
That was
basically, yeah.
They did make a name for themselves.
Croatia some reputation before that. Like I remember them being good in one of the past cups, but I don't remember that very well.
Yeah, they fucked Germany over in the 2018 European Cup.
Yeah, that was it.
2018.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyone else?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Well, Cosmic, where's your mic?
Something happened?
Yeah,
No.
it sounded like you were talking from distance. Okay, so let's move on. Now we're gonna talk about the Mapper winners video, On to the Future Brazil series. I skipped to season 2, unfortunately, because I didn't have time. So that's lazy.
It was only one episode.
Oh no, there was a bunch. Well, it's
No.
one episode, season 2, yeah, and I think that's the most lazy one. There's only one thing I didn't really like. Like the music was good, the map is okay. There's just one thing I don't like: the borders. They're kind of when you slap it with the texture, I find it hard to see the borders of the map. Like I can't tell if the border is there or not because it's so hard to see. At least that's for me. I don't know about you guys. I was on 480p though, so maybe that could be why.
Yeah, I thought the map was it was already. Yeah, some of the borders they're a little thinner than normal. I planned to watch the whole show, but I had to help my sister pack for camp, which just ruined everything. But I saw a little bit of the finale, and if what I saw in the finale rang true for the rest of the series, this was really, really good. It was written really well. There were little typos every once in a while, but from what I saw, it was put together really well. The dialogue all had very distinct emotion in it. You know, there was a sense of precedent going on. I can tell that, like, if I had watched the entire show up to this point, this would have been really meaningful because it definitely had that sense of a culmination of things coming to a head, the end of a journey. And it was really well. The music definitely fit in every scene. Nothing felt out of place. It was, from what I saw, it was really well. It was emotional, and I always like when emotion is injected into mapping. So that's what I got.
Most of the stuff I'm going to say now is pretty much just what I already said during Mapper Tournament 8. Basically, I like the map quite good because the land and sea contrast each other well. It was simple yet contrasting. The same went for the text box. The only thing that I would say where you could improve upon map-wise would making the war styles a little bit more detailed, in my opinion. The music for most of the time fit the theme overall, so I can't complain about that too. And like narrative-wise, I really liked the characters. The dialogue was written well, in my opinion. And yeah, I like the characters. And the only thing was that I found the finale to be a little bit anticlimactic, and I think there could have been done much more. And it was a little bit disappointing compared to the rest of the series, in my opinion.
A disagreement.
Oh, a disagreement? Oh, let's hear it.
Ooh.
That's nothing. He probably has more to say about that anyway, since I think he actually watched the show. I just skimmed over the finale.
Rip.
Rip LV, Rip Serbia. Oh, the chat is going berserk.
Rip Thermo.
People are still.
Rip the Mongolian Mapper Sergeant. I mean, what?
Anything else? Anyone else need to say? Because I barely watched it. I just watched part of it. I think the map is a bit classic. It's a classical texture style, in my opinion. Like nothing too special. Just a lot of mappers have done that already. But it's not to. I'm not trying to discredit you. I would say it's around the average. At least in my opinion.
And also good luck for Mapper Tournament X.
Yeah. Also good luck. Yeah.
All right, I think we should move on.
Move on. Okay.
Yeah.
We are so bad. All right. Next topic is we'll be discussing Electoral College. I think we talked about this before. I don't
know what this is.
If only Batman was here.
I don't know what it is.
The Electoral
I
College
was
is
hoping
basically the
Batman-
voting system of the US.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was
so
hoping
how
Batman-
about
I'm not interested.
how about I explain what the Electoral College is from a very pessimistic standpoint?
Go ahead. I was
So-
about to do the
I
same
think we should
thing,
let
so go
Cosmic
ahead.
because he's like the
Okay.
American.
Freeze can probably.
Actually, you do it, Cosmic.
Want me to do it? Okay.
Do it.
All right. So the Electoral College is this stupid, asinine way we have of electing our president in the United States. We don't. Okay, Imperial just left, so someone should probably see to that.
He had enough.
He had enough. He feels very strongly about the Electoral College. Yeah, so we don't go just by the straight up vote here. Essentially, every state has a certain amount of delegates, vaguely proportionate to its population, and then those delegates are given to the candidate based on whichever candidate in that state beat out. So it's a first past the post thing. There's no the delegates aren't given out proportionate to the vote. It's just whoever. Like, if you get one vote more in that state than the other candidate, all that state's delegates will go. That's theoretical. That would never happen. But still, that's how it goes. And that leads to this ridiculous, like, sports championship style of elections we have in this country. It's not a real debate of ideas or anything. It's just you focus on the swing states and, who's going to get Ohio, guys? Oh, who's going to pick up Wisconsin this year? It's ridiculous. It's a joke. And that's how we elect our president here. I probably should have explained that a little less biased, but, that's my stance.
My flaws that I see in Electoral College and like first past the post is the first one is basically that the votes are basically disproportional, and that like some states where your vote actually counts more. For example, like the small states in like the Rocky Mountains, like Utah and such, or Wyoming. If you are a person there, your vote is much more powerful than a person from California or Texas, for example.
Exactly.
Because of that. And we saw like in the past there were elections where actually the other candidate had more votes, but because of the Electoral College, the other candidate won.
That's why Trump's in office.
Like I think it was with George W. Bush and Alan Gore, or however he was called again.
Yeah, it was Al Gore. Actually,
Yeah,
he
Al Gore.
won. He won the popular vote. He actually won the Electoral College vote too. When they did a recount, they just decided like, who cares? We already got the guy in there. We already bought the party favors for the inauguration. Just let
And
him-
I thought Electoral College was something related to getting into college.
no.
Yeah, same really.
I still got the second
Same.
point. The Electoral College basically makes gerrymandering possible. And for those people who don't know what gerrymandering is, it's basically redrawing the districts in a way that one party is unfavorable towards one party. So it means, for example, you spread, for example, let us say, the anarcho-communists, you spread them thin so they can get no votes together in like a district, and you give the transhumanists, you make them in the way that they get more districts, and
I'm
that way
proud.
they actually win the elections if they would actually wouldn't have. And yeah, the two reasons why the Electoral College I find to be bad is because votes aren't not all votes from each state are equal, and the second thing is basically gerrymandering.
It leads to a system where a candidate can just straight up lose the election by over 2 million votes and still be elected. And that's just inherently anti-democratic. And the counter argument you hear a lot is, oh, it brings smaller states into play. And that is an inherently ridiculous concept. You can hear it in the argument, bring them into play, bring smaller states into play. Once again, treating it like a fucking sport. It's not a sport. It's democracy. You're supposed to be voting. It doesn't matter. It's like governing by land. It's where more people live. Obviously, that's where more of the voting power should be centered, because that's where more people live. Let's say you take a theoretical nation. There's 2 provinces. One province is the capital city with 90% of the population. The rest is like an area the size of Siberia, but it only has 10% of the population.
So
and
Japan?
Essentially. And then you give that massive province with only 10% of the population 90% of the vote because it has 90% of the land area. That's an extreme case, but it still holds that weird principle of governing by land. And it upsets me to no end, and it's ridiculous and stupid. That's my stance. That's my intelligent, informed stance. Is anyone else?
Mostly if we're on the topic of Siberia, see, elections don't exist in Russia because everyone, I think everybody's settled with Putin. You know, he's doing an all right job.
Supporting the greatest leader.
That is very true.
Yeah.
You need a president if you have Putin.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've said all there is to be said, but it's ridiculous. It's on like the candidate that's lost the election has won the presidency multiple times, and you still hear the argument that it's somehow more democratic because it's anti-mob rule, which is just a buzzword for democracy. Like that's, I don't know.
Mob rule is just democracy enforced by bricks and chains.
Yeah. All right, we should move on.
All right. So next, we'll be pulling a wildcard topic.
Yep, Cosmic, this is all you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Gosh, you're a beautiful face.
You know, I always tell myself, like, okay, I'm going to go put foundation on to get rid of all, like, my zits, but no, I always forget. Okay. Hey, folks, how we doing today?
Woo!
Beautiful.
Beautiful, man.
Hat. Let's reach into this hat, see what stupid topics.
Oh, it better be the
FPS
dumpster.
this time are like really fucking slow.
Okay, what we
Better
got?
be a dumpster.
We got, what is your sexual orientation?
No.
Please end yourself.
Okay, I'm heterosexual. I can say that in the open. Nothing wrong.
This
All
is
right.
too personal.
Maybe your girlfriend is a true male, Red.
All right, let's start in the line of the profile pictures. All right, Alp. How about you?
Okay.
How about we
Or
start from the free?
I think they're different for everyone, though. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, that's why we're asking.
No, I mean, I'm talking about the
Yeah,
profile.
well, for me,
picture
the order
arrangement.
is Alp, Freeze, the one Lucas, the other Lucas, Mindria, Viper, me.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows mine already.
No, from left to right. Let's do this. Go first.
All right.
Oh.
Okay, so you're telling me to go first, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting question. I mean,
Cosmic, I want the murder.
I like women, but I also like anal.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Well, then you're straight. That's not like a.
Cosmic, come on, what kind of topic is this?
I
Wildcard
didn't.
topic?
First of all, this wasn't my idea. I ask you guys, like, hey, what should be our wild
I
card?
mean,
topic?
Batchman also said the only ass I would eat is a woman's ass.
I put what you guys told me.
standards a little bit if you want to have.
So we don't have to ask Patrick
Hey, you said it. That's enough. We can...
All right,
All
let's
right,
keep going
moving
through
on.
Imperial.
Yeah, I'm quite sure that I'm straight, but yeah.
You're quite sure. There's a little bit of uncertainty there. You're only quite sure.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't. Let's
Okay,
move
I'm
on.
sure what
What are you?
I'm definitely straight.
Okay,
Sure.
Rad, what are you?
You sure? You sure? Okay.
I'm
Okay.
straight.
correct
No,
myself.
shut
Yeah,
up.
I'm definitely straight.
Shut up.
I'm straight, yes.
Okay. Viper.
I'm straight.
I'm pretty sure mine's obvious. Asexual.
Okay. I'm straight. There we go,
Straight
guys.
as well.
We're all
There you
straight.
go. You get to know.
Except
And we
if
all,
my-
and I must add one thing: we all know that Chris is gay.
That is true. We all
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%
That is 100% fact.
confirmed.
No, that is
No,
100%
he's
slander right
The
there.
pink cat gave it
It's
away.
not-
We can't say
That's not
that until
slander.
Chris
Get on your meme
confirms
tag,
it.
please stop.
Until Chris confirms it, we're not gonna say that. Alright.
Oh no.
Okay.
Alright, so let's move on from this. Shit, went with the dumpster topic. Oh well.
Dumpster.
Hopefully the next
It's all random, man. It's whatever my
dumpster
fingers
topic.
pick.
Hopefully it's a dumpster topic. Alright. So next is the announcement of the MapperCast project we are working on.
Oof.
Yes. Okay. So
So
this.
you, Cosmic Guy, you're the one that's.
So Midget, should we like officially announce what it is, or should we just?
Yeah, we announced it on Twitter. So
Yeah.
I mean, we brought up like the code name, but should we
yeah,
just?
Project MM.
Okay.
Project M&Ms.
I mean, like, should we
Yeah.
say just like what it is?
Stop making me hungry.
M&Ms. Yes, we're buying and selling M&Ms.
Sponsored by
Yes, we
MM.
Obviously, we are
franchising now.
Sponsored
by
by M&Ms, guys. That's the product.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. A few days ago, we announced on Twitter a new project we are working on. It's like our largest thing we've done since the collaboration way back when of Alternate Future in the World. May that rest in peace. Hopefully someday that'll rise from the grave again, but not today. Today, we'll just officially announce here on the project. We got here on the podcast. We got Project MM. It's our new thing. I don't really
Sponsored
know.
by M&Ms.
Sponsored by M&Ms. I don't really know how far we should go into it because it says announce it in the doc, but I don't know if we should.
I don't even know what it is.
Okay.
We'll let them wait.
Huh?
We'll let them wait.
All right, we'll wait.
Gotta make them
Follow our
hungry.
Twitter for more details on Project MM. It's gonna be fun, and I
In the
love you
meantime-
too,
Give me
best
information
mapper
on
ever.
Steam, please.
And in the meantime, buy M&Ms.
In the meantime, buy M&Ms.
Only
Yes.
$3.99.
And listen to Eminem.
Okay. Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Next, finally, a real topic. All right. Do you think creating a fictional political ideology is a good
Hold
idea in mapping?
Hold on. I don't
Oh,
hate gay
That's a
people.
topic.
Why are people saying I hate gay people?
What?
He is gay.
Wait,
What?
Someone
What?
said Cosmic hates gay people.
okay, like one guy said that.
I know, but
Yeah,
he
you
was
don't
like,
need to
Yeah,
listen
I
to
thought
it.
of
was
people
dissing
saying
me
one
earlier.
person.
So, no,
That's
come
only
on,
one
let's get back on topic. So, the topic is: do you think creating a fictional political ideology is a good idea in mapping? I did that before. And,
It really depends on from
I
person.
got
I
him.
mean, we have fascism.
like, I'm sure
if you
a
want
lot
to
of
be
people
real
right
with
now
it, we
are
also have
mostly
communism.
interrelated with each other, right? Oh my god.
Brad, do you remember Atlantism?
Ah ja, Licht.
What about Noism, right?
Atlantism.
Nocracy.
Novoism.
Nucracy.
God damn it, Jam. He's
No.
me thing again.
Nucracy would
Think
be
about
what
those
it
ideas.
He's a legend.
The thing
Then you
about those
FDR.
ideologies is that they usually are very. They just seem not right. They do not fit, and they are pretty made up. That's the thing. I mean,
A lot of
in some
times
ways it
the-
works, but it's
Yeah.
mostly just. It seems too outlandish.
A lot of the times, those ideologies actually already exist under a different name, but the people, the mapper
You
behind
know,
is
I
just a fake
tried to
node.
create that in season 3 of my AFOW.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like invent
Yeah, that
a
didn't
new
go very
color.
well.
You're like, oh hey, here's this new color. You might call it blue, but no. This is
It's
that's what we call it.
This
This
is
is imperial.
this is new communism.
This is fascism.
Neo-Nazism.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of new ideologies and mapping, new everything. I like it when new stuff is done, but it does often just kind of.
I mean, technically, these political ideologies didn't exist. They were created by someone or a group of people, right?
Sure, but usually they just end up being like a renamed version of a previous one. Like in Mapping Whispers, there was a Latinism, which is just essentially nationalism for Latin America. They just called it Latinism.
Like,
Like,
I try to create an ideology where it's like, okay, I think it's going to be more like an Incan Empire. Money is not used as currency. Or something.
I think
that's
Whispers is
communism.
coming to an end.
What do you mean? No, neurocracy is a real thing.
What's
freeze fun. Newocracy is real.
what's newcracy?
It's real.
So what is it?
It's a real thing.
Sounds like
What is it?
It's a
Can you
real
tell
thing.
us?
I didn't pick that up. It's a real thing.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna see newcracy.
Oh, come on.
No-ocracy. Aristocracy
that.
of the wise, as defined by Plato,
Newcracy.
the social and political system that is based on the priority of human mind. According to
Newcracy or aristocracy of the wise, as defined by
Verne.
Plato, is a social and
What countries are doing doesn't seem wise to me.
yeah, well,
I implemented that in my
newcracy
isolated-
apparently is like an outdated version of technocracy. So,
Well, no, it's basically a priority. Like it's ambiguous one, right? So you can pretty much do anything with it. Right?
No,
It's priority
I
of
looked at-
human mind. Okay.
I looked at newocracy. It pretty much sounds like ancient Greek technocracy
Like,
to me.
Basically.
basically, for my isolated series, so like, when the isolated, you do connection with your families, people started going crazy with that, and then they use this as an excuse. Something like that. Honestly, I feel like, I don't like getting into politics, but it's a thing. That's what I can say.
Helvetianism is the best ideology.
And then there's stratocracy. Yeah, technocracy is also it's stratocracy where it's the military controls the country.
Military junta.
It's
also
not
known
the same
as
as
just
military dictatorship.
Autocracy, really.
There's also fascism.
yes, there
What
is
is
that.
fascism?
ideologies are
fascism-
kind of trying to argue against the horseshoe theory here, but like what you're describing is like there's like the same thing, like literally.
But then,
Communism,
like,
fascism are the same.
sure, you can create and you can name a new political ideology, but you have to explain it and what makes it unique from the rest. Is like,
Yeah.
I think that's like a hard thing to do because it's kind of like creating a new English word, right? It's a pretty hard thing to do.
Putinism.
It's difficult. Yeah, you got to come up with a whole new ideology. You can't just come up with a catchy name and then attach that to essentially just nationalism.
Helvetianism.
Yeah,
Guys, it's Latinism. No, it's nationalism.
People's Republic of China-ism.
Oh yes.
now
No, that's actually
Spoilers.
market communism.
There is a limit to everything.
yeah. So that's what I'm asking. What do you guys think about it in mapping series? Like, I guess you can say it depends on how it's done, right?
I think you
But-
shouldn't point the main focus on just
Oh,
them
yes,
being
Imperial.
of ideology, in my opinion.
But
Yeah, I use that as a reason to
it's-
start wars. Technocracy. Oh, we're technology falling behind.
The best one
Technocracy
is
revolt.
feminism, obviously.
I think you got to be careful when you implement things like that because you can get like a little too, like anyone can just get too far up their own ass with like the logistics of things and like explaining the lore behind my new ideology, guys. It's my new OC. It's done like the characters' motivations can't just come from this crazy new political ideology invented.
Oh, Batman is in the chat.
Oh,
Huh? What?
tell Batman to get in here.
That's
it
it.
has
Just-
to-
When
yeah,
you
that's-
come from
he
characters
overslept. He
themselves.
overslept.
Huh?
He overslept.
He overslept.
Rip.
Why did I know that?
I
I
like
called it.
Kalani.
See, I called it. I, said,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone called it basically by this
Wow, he
point.
missed the Electoral College topic. Damn it.
We can
It's
go
like-
back to
Too
it.
late by this
me.
point.
We need to get into that.
No,
Get
now
your
look at
ass
how
on
he
this.
now look at how he tries to like silence everyone to talk about it. Once he gets in
Yeah,
here.
let's-
All right, so let's. Anyone else want to add about this fictional political ideology?
Our ideology is Murphy-Marangianism.
Wait, what? No, I'm saying is if anyone else had anything else to say about it? No. Imperial, did your 5
No,
hours
no.
mapping movie have any of this fictional political ideology?
Yeah, communism.
I had a
I mean, it
different
has
version of
everything.
fascism. Alp, please. I had
Yeah.
the combination of absolutism and fascism, but it was not really new. So
Yeah,
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 that
you said
already-
you combine, like
That
fictional
already does
ideology is not
exist.
creating a
Right,
new one.
that's
You can
called-
actually combine
called
them.
phalangism.
yeah, it's basically an
That's
absolute
what I mean by
monarch who
fictional.
raised fascist. So,
Like, I think people combined anarchism with like a democracy or something. I don't know
Okay,
how
that's
that
impossible.
works.
And that's
Somehow I
anarchism.
don't know how that
more
works, but I
than
think I've heard of it before.
That's
I think
anarcho-syndicalism,
Rat done
technically.
that in his Dark Heroes.
Or just any kind of Soviet democracy.
I think
A
he had,
democracy, of course, in quotes, in parentheses.
yeah, you had anarcho-feminism, I think.
Okay. How-
that exists.
Legitimate ideology.
How are
that
we supposed to be under the impression that this is like, you know, feminism if there's no ruling class?
I think we are getting
It's like
something.
ruling.
I don't know. That's what I mean
Anarcho-feminism
by
basically
fictional political
implies
ideology,
that
'cause I'm sure it's been done before.
the
It
male
has, actually.
hierarchy needs to be overthrown.
And then what? Then are you gonna just like completely skew the
If you
dynamic?
overthrow the male hierarchy, then you got gender equality.
Out
That's
of the
like what we
patriarchy.
think. And that's the same with anarcho-LGBTQism. That exists too, by
Oh
the
my
way.
god.
Come on.
There's also anarcho-monarchism, there's anarcho-nationalism,
God,
there's
How
anarcho-monarchism.
does
The fuck?
anarcho-nationalism, by the way, is just anarchism combined with national socialism.
Hey, basically, everyone is a king. Like everyone can wear a crown or whatever. But
Yeah,
every
How
man,
does that
Support
fucking
that
work?
ideology.
This is the nature of fictional political ideology, right?
Wait, just as a question, wasn't anarchism about like overthrowing any legitimate power?
Basically, no rulers, but there
Yeah,
are
literally,
rules,
like,
but no
How does
rulers.
anarcho-monarchism work?
Most
That's
of
the thing.
most of the prominent anarchist ideologies like anarcho-syndicalism and whatnot, they still had a state, but a really loose one. For example, with anarcho-syndicalism, it was like that the workers need to be organized in like syndicates and confederations, and then they sent like delegates to a council, which then basically loosely rules the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are very confused about this topic because you know creating fictional political idea is very hard. That's all. I brought that up earlier.
Well, it's easy. You just take
It's
a
easy to
word,
make a
put
name, but
ism
it's hard
at
to
the end, and boom, got an ideology.
Literally.
Atlantism.
Batman!
Hey,
Anarcho-capitalism.
Bertrand.
Okay,
Bad
now I can
already.
add you to
You
description.
could-
You
I
overslept
actually forgot there
again.
was a map.
Yeah,
Why
I
didn't you tell
know.
me there was a MapperCast?
It's Sunday.
I know. I actually forgot it was Sunday. I thought it was like a Saturday or something.
Baron sounds different.
Yeah.
I'm on
I
my
thought it was
I'm on
Monday.
my other computer.
Oh,
I'm on my on my
He's on his other vocal cords.
yes.
He's
I'm
on his other.
Switched him out.
okay. We have
Then
Batman.
it's razor vocal cords.
Oversleepism. Okay. We were talking about fictional political ideologies. Do you think it's a good idea to have them in mapping videos? I need to
Political
hear first.
ideologies.
Fictional.
Fictional.
Well, fictional. I mean, I think it's fine if there's different political ideologies, like unique ones. Really get creative. I think.
Okay.
But why is there like?
Okay, so-
is there any counter arguments to that, or just that? Anyone agreement here?
Yeah,
All right, dude.
We're finished.
Does anyone else have anything to add about this?
We actually got 44 viewers.
Whoa.
Anyone else got anything to add, or people? Because people are making fictional ideologies now in the chat, but they don't
Yeah.
describe what it is.
I think we
I
gotta
think
turn
we
this
have
around.
He keeps making John Mulaney references.
All right, so
I hate
Mapper
voice.
post the wild card.
No,
No.
not the.
What is happening?
No.
Oh no.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
No.
I don't
No, Bertrand. Stop.
Wait, what happened? What's going on?
Don't participate in the Wildcard for now.
Okay.
Oh no.
No.
Don't bring up Big Gay.
What?
Talking about Big.
Oh man, I'm glad I'm not on this
You just
topic.
brought it up, Cosmic.
Yeah,
Oh, man. I'm
Rat
glad
has
I
a
did
valid
not-
question, Cosmic.
I'm glad
Rat
I
has a
did not
valid
join at
question.
this topic.
Sorry, what are we talking about, Alp?
Rat has a valid question.
Yeah, we're like all over the place. I don't even know what's happening anymore. So we should just move on. Let's. Whoa. Let's
Yes.
move on. Okay. So
Okay.
next
Well,
topic.
Electoral College is necessary. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
sh-
good.
No, it's not in the slightest.
No.
Please
No,
stop.
no, no,
Don't be the
We are
next
not
person, for
starting
God's
this
sake.
again.
We've
Guys.
been fast over the
Guys,
topic.
come on. Stop.
We'll bring it up in the free for all.
You bring up in the free fall. Okay. Next
fine.
topic.
That's a good idea.
What are some things you want to see change in mapping? Like, you know, like
Oh,
we already know how much mapping has changed, but like, what are some things you want to see in the future in mapping?
Edgy mapping, especially National mapping, needs to die out.
Yes, it needs to.
What?
God.
Hey,
Yeah, I meant you too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
just wanted to be alive again.
since nobody else is talking, so there's this one
Hey.
series I saw by another guy named Cosmic, Cosmic Dawn Mapping.
God.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like, you know, episode 1, season 1. It's like Ogore School. Whatever it is.
no idea.
Cosmic
You
Dawn
can
Map
have
could
to-
be.
It's invalid. Just
But like his videos, like they look like, I don't know, like some cutscene from like
They do.
Call of Duty game. Just with like all the shaders and everything.
Star Wars or some shit.
Like Star Wars. It's like really sci-fi looking and
and I want to really morning.
resembles a production value.
Definitely unique.
You know what I want to see in the future of mapping? Like every battle, there's like a 3D animated version of the battle. Like tank, you can have tanks, aircraft coming from the air, trench warfare, anything like that. Of course,
Well,
that's very hard to do,
I
and it's
did
going to
like
take a lot
some
of
Russian
time.
map, I think.
But I feel like
I
that's
actually
something
thought
I
about
would
trying
want to
to
see in the
detail.
future. A mapper who accomplishes that. Like it
I
makes
actually
it,
thought
it makes
I
about
it,
think
having
someone
those
actually
maps.
did it. It was like some Russian map, I believe.
no, but it's not in country balls. It's like real people. So, and you don't take it from. And no, you made it yourself. You don't take it from like a video game or something.
Hey,
Make-
mind
make
you,
it
remember
yourself.
that video that
Well,
you sent me back in
technically,
Yeah,
a
I did.
that's
Gaffer
pretty
mapping
cool.
did like with Gary's mod.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never
but
went a bit
I
over.
really think that the people that actually add like fucking arms and mouths should be purged. Like that should be an option.
The Gaffer mapping basically used like Gary's mod props.
I
to
wonder
make
what
the
What
cutscenes.
will you do when there's a mouth on the flag? Like
Oh my God.
the original flag already
No,
has.
that cancer should just
Country
get
beer.
Right.
Yeah, just remove it.
No. The original flag, meaning there's a mouth on the
There's a
original
mouth
flag.
on the flag.
On the flag, yeah, not the country.
Why
flag,
is
the
there a
flag.
mouth on the flag?
I don't know.
Or
Let's say there's a
what
country
the
that has a
fuck?
mouth on the flag. What do you
Country
do?
Orifices don't belong in mapping.
Why is there
Yeah.
eyes on this flag?
you know, there's a mapper ball that had their picture was
Fuck is
basically
going on?
a monster, and it has a mouth and eyes. So what do you do about that?
Kill it
Not
with
fire.
fire.
Yeah, you burn it.
You burn it. Okay.
Burn.
Burn it with
The
fire.
most mature thing is to not watch it.
Okay. So that's what you want to see. No mouths and country balls in the future. All right.
See what
Wonder-
I want
wonder-
to see though is I want to see myself with a whole animation crew and music production crew and
Sounds
management and free donuts and coffee,
Hit
and I'd be
Cosmic
making
up on
this
that.
like a whole animated cartoon instead of some circles.
Yeah,
That- that-
that's something I want to do.
And okay, like,
that's
you
what I
know.
mentioned when I mentioned
If
the
you want to do
battles,
that, hit Cosmic.
like let's say Battle of Stalingrad. I'm just using that as an
Cosmic
example.
would make an
Example.
alternate future of your car seat.
2 hours long.
Because
I mean,
remember
you're
that time when
right,
remember that time when Cosmic to put the nations in a car.
Oh my.
No.
Yeah,
videos
they don't even have
Oh, yeah, I
they're not
remember
even
that.
Talking
country
about my
balls. They're just
video, that's
literally
not
a whole
Oh yeah, I
nations
remember that.
with thousands of people on a
Yeah.
car seat driving a
I
car.
think at this point in mapping, we've realized that that's not literally the nomadic nations. It's just an
It's like
anthropomorphization.
blobs
Yeah,
with
exactly. Yeah.
Blobs.
Like I think Random
Bloody
Mapping
boys.
mentioned it. I think by that point you should use country balls for that.
No. Oh man. 'Cause
Yeah.
like what I try to do with my stuff is I want to take that like original, the country blobs walking around on planets and shit. I want to take that and elevate it. That's my whole thing. So
Yeah.
So
And
you'd
I
have,
think,
like-
I think outside of like animated battle, I think another thing I want to see is I think anchor mapping or is he borderline now has accomplished that, but I want to see more type of like borderline type of videos.
borderline personality
guys.
disorder.
Yeah. Well, not the
Disorder.
personality. Whatever the personality behind it.
Guys,
whatever.
what
But in
about
terms of the
Cosmic Dawn?
mapping skills and that's something I would want to see in the future.
Yeah, what about Cosmic
Because
Dawn?
I know my content is shit, so yeah.
Immediately.
Oh,
You know what, guys? What about Cosmic
I would
Dawn?
say my
already talked
content not necessarily the best, and nor is it like in terms of like the look of the map, it's probably not the best either. So, like, if an anchor type of style look of the map is pretty nice. My only criticism to all of those is I hope you just don't take it off the graphics off the internet, right? Because that's something I usually have a pet peeve on. But yeah, that's
I want to see more people just develop unique styles because I want because if you go to a freeze pond video or a viper video or a rat video, you'll go to that
Cosmic Dawn.
or Cosmic Dawn. You go to one of those and you instantly know who made it. I want more styles like that are wholesome and you can tell that this person put a lot of passion into it and wanted to come into their own and have their own defined area. I've had enough of like the default sort of color texture maps. No offense to anyone who does that. You're all perfectly great. I'm just saying I want more unique art styles.
Yeah, I agree with that, Cosmic.
To be honest, my passion is being
like
fair.
What about Cosmic Dawn? It's like Cosmic except better.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
see, no, this is something I always hit on.
Yeah,
Like, we should copy ourselves, not others.
It's
Like,
better than all of us.
like we should.
What?
Cosmic Dawn mapping
do
is
your own
pretty
style.
pretty much the opposite of Cosmic when it comes to dialogue writing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dialogue rating?
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying. Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's not like his dialogue is bad, but it's
Someone
not.
say
I don't
dialogue?
find it entertaining.
Yeah, I was
With
saying
our
like,
short attention spans, it would get our attention.
man, we gotta stop talking over each other. Oh my god. I was saying I agree with Cosmic on that because it's like I always hit on that. You should always try to be yourself, not try to copy other mappers or mappers are inspired by. Like if you look at, like, let's say the mapper we just reviewed. This I can't tell who made that, by the way. It's probably that person, but it looks like another mapper made that too. So that's something I like to hit on. Also, I was like, it's always good to be yourself and try to do your own, be creative on your own, not copying others. Of course, I have some accusations of copying. Like, I go through some coincidences, but like if you know, majority of the time you're trying to be creative yourself. I think that's a good thing, and I hope to see more of that in the future instead of, oh, I want to copy this. Oh, I want to be like this person. Oh, I want to be like this person. Or I want to be like this mapper in 10 years from now.
You always have them.
Okay, so anybody want to see a little bit of creativity? Courtesy
no.
of
The way you
Japanese
said creativity made me want to see it.
mapping. Well,
Cosmic,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
you were talking about
Creative.
passion. My passion is being dead.
okay, because like
That's a great passion.
yeah,
That's one weird passion you have there. You should.
it's like we have a way of like showing images up on screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You should live your passion right now.
Okay, let's see if we could show this image to the
screen share.
Where's the
that's a
image?
character
Yeah, I
from
don't,
my
I don't have. we
I don't have
access.
permission.
you don't? Okay, who does?
Nobody.
Nobody.
You
What
just
is
need
that?
you
What
just
did you
need
say?
to open the
Yeah,
page.
you can.
Wait, what do
Please, you just need to open that page in your browser and then go to screen share on Hangouts.
Do what?
Yeah.
Okay, what? Okay, so
You can share your screen with.
It's a
Hangouts.
green arrow. No, it's a green background with a white arrow
Yeah, on the left, top left.
on the left. Yeah.
yeah.
Free spawn
Screen.
learning.
Do you see it?
Screen
Screen
share.
power
Or
one.
All right, here we go. Maybe we should probably close out all these
You didn't
tabs.
share it yet, but
Yeah. Okay, I'm working, guys. Please
I'm gonna click on your name, by the way. So
stop it. Okay, so I'll just open this in Sorry, guys. See, I got a lot of stuff to hide here.
oh, you need permission.
Freeze, stop.
What do you got up?
Stop.
Free stop. Just stop.
I'm being pretty
If
funny,
it's
aren't I?
porn, we want
I'm
some
pretty,
porn too.
I'm
Fucking
pretty funny.
comedy 2018,
Real
everybody.
jokes.
Yes,
Wait, are you
yes.
screen sharing?
Not yet. Almost there. Okay.
Alternate history of YouTube.
Alp,
Is-
don't commit suicide.
Is this something you want to see in the future?
Okay. All right. So, is it working, guys?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
This is okay.
Yeah,
And-
apparently you
yeah.
just showed the side chat.
Oh, hey, side chat. Okay. Point it. So here's a
Okay,
character
let's look
from
at the
my
tabs. Oh.
most.
No.
Oh no.
Get it off the screen. Get it.
Let
Oh,
him show his thing.
Okay.
Is that what you're trying to do?
Get it off.
Jesus having a
Stop talking
spasm.
over each other.
Jesus having a spasm.
That's it?
Okay.
Ah, I thought something
Okay.
Chris
Okay.
I thought it was
All right, guys.
something more
Calm down.
interesting.
All right.
Calm down.
Everybody.
Everybody calm down.
Everybody.
I
Everybody,
thought
please calm
something more
down.
interesting, but okay.
Okay. No. I didn't get to the interesting part yet.
Oh,
Um,
Stop.
No. Okay.
Who
Okay.
made
So,
this, by the way?
okay. Courtesy of Japanese mapping. He's a very creative guy. So here's a character from my most recent episode.
Is that
Republic of not available. Now
Republic of not
Not available.
all right, so you guys might want to brace yourselves for
supposed to
some
be a
instant.
Japanese corn.
Hey, wait, hold on. I gotta
Let's
stop
send
you
the
right there.
Polish
Is this appropriate? Is this appropriate, first of all?
It doesn't show anything. This might be. You might want to tell your mom to look
If
the
it's
other way. But,
inappropriate, I'm booting
alright.
you out. So
no.
avoiding
You
your-
don't have to. Just
Just
three,
hotbar,
okay,
it's just like
guys.
Windows 8.
Just play in your bed.
3, 2, 1. Get ready, thick.
I feel like you're
Here
really
we go.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, Viper.
Isn't it
Me
like
too.
a fucking
Okay.
stuffed Japanese mix?
This-
Oh my god.
Japanese mapper made this
80%
for
of
me.
our community
Oh,
are
that's
below.
that's
Became my enemy.
lit. That's pretty
And
lit.
see, this what I'm thinking
I don't like those
is
proportions, man.
Pretty,
okay. Yeah, proportions aside, character design.
her arms are as big as her legs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're not doing this. Is like just for design purposes, reference, I guess.
Chibi.
My computer is about to die
So
because
this is
of
Okay.
I'm so
Italian.
fucking
Stop.
done.
So this is basically Hetalia. Okay.
No. Okay, no. It's like Italia.
I could do it. I could also do it, except that I'm too lazy.
And I guess it's
Still remember, you need to
Every
remember
day
that
we start
8%
further
of
away
our
from
community
God.
is below 18 or so,
Literally
so we need to
Imperial.
be careful. What?
I think my Steam almost crashed because of Cheese, by the way. He spammed me to stop.
and see, like what I was saying about wanting to have like a whole animated series of it. It's like I have like character like design ideas.
So you basically want to make Hetalia. That's pretty much what you're telling
Okay,
me.
I'd make it like Hetalia.
I
except not
remember
stupid.
that I made
Hetalia is
art
stupid.
about
Stupid.
your,
Okay.
and then I
Not anime.
yeah.
Don't talk over each other.
Yeah, please.
For fuck's sake.
So that's
That's
what you
what
want.
we do the entire time.
The what?
I say that's something you want to see in the future. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's
I
the
mean, I wouldn't be
reason why I
surprised
don't
if
have
someone actually
human
does it.
female characters in my series.
Yes.
Because I'm actually surprised someone hasn't done it yet. I
Thank
thought
you,
it would
Japanese
happen
man.
sooner or later.
There was one mapper who like did it for the text box, but the mapper quit. So
Okay. All right. Anyone else have anything to add or what you want to see in the future mapping or no?
I have something. I would just like to have a more heavy focus on dialogue because
Oh my
I see mapping.
Where's my
I
pen?
see mapping basically more as a storytelling thing than a simulation. So, and I think many mappers misunderstand that, and
Exactly.
I usually see the dialogue a bit lacking in most of our mapping series, and that it's just sad.
Some
for
people
me
say
at
too
least.
much dialogue can be boring. That's the criticism I always get.
Don't
You're
listen.
gonna make
yeah,
another
too
one
much
out of
dialogue.
it.
is
Don't listen to
boring
those
in
hacks.
Dialogue is
People
the
just want to
most
see
important thing
Michael
of all of
Bates
whatever.
explosions. People want to see Michael Bates.
Yeah, but you shouldn't overdo it. So yeah,
I don't want
45-minute
those-
episode.
I don't
Oh,
want
wait,
those people to
except
watch.
your name is Cosmic Mapping, then it's fine.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have
Thanks,
last
Brent.
things to add or no?
I think we're good.
All right, let's finally move on to a non-mapping topic. What are some things? Oh no, that's the wrong one. Discuss Colombia joining NATO's global ship partnership.
Ooh, this is interesting.
I said global ship again. Global partnership program. I don't know how I messed that up twice. Speed up your text
This is an
rolling out
interesting
speed,
topic.
please. It's too
All
slow.
right, can someone go?
No, of
NATO's
course it's so
power.
everyone else has the
Okay,
same
to
thing.
discuss that, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Viper's texting goes at a very, very nice pace. I don't know what folks are talking about. It doesn't need to be flashing all over the screen. Just read for a minute. Educate, grow your minds. To be fair, I guess
Blow
with
your
Viper-
minds in a mapping series.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess
You're-
maybe it's
That will never work.
maybe it's a little
Guys,
bit different for
If
Viper because
anything, you
he,
will fall brain
Viper
dead.
has like a visual stimulation level that not many other
Your
mappers have.
series touching deep philosophical questions.
What?
What?
Isn't your series touching deep philosophical questions?
It could be.
Deep
Should be,
philosophical
should be.
questions. Yeah.
It
No.
should touch those
shit.
questions, but it does.
My Paint
Alright,
3D
we gotta talk
program
about
crashed.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Colombia. Let's say just for the free fall. All right, so Colombia. People are like, then why doesn't Mexico join?
Oh, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah, that's not
We
even
got the
gonna happen at
left-wing
all.
populist in power who really hates the US and
That
Trump. So.
won't happen.
Oh yeah, Trump's wall. Yeah, he probably not happen until he gets his wall.
Yeah, Mexico joins NATO after the wall is done.
Yeah.
Someday. I mean,
Would be ironic.
I wish that they would just straight up join NATO. I don't understand this whole global partnership thing. Just join NATO regular, like that's
No,
all
like,
we
they join NATO, but
So long
usually,
as
like,
they commit at least 2% of their military spending. on it.
I don't think Mexico.
That's what
Mexico
everyone
can do
is.
that.
But the bullshit about that is, for
not
example, in
everyone.
countries like these only have like 5% military spending because their military is not only the armed forces, but they're for police, the trash trucks, and half of the infrastructure sector.
Basically, if you're in Germany, military and trash trucks is the same. So
And in most countries like France, the military usually is the military and the police force. In Germany, for example, the military is separated because the military is not allowed to operate on German ground.
So I just have a question. What does Montenegro give? They have only 3,300 men in the field.
Iceland's part of it. They don't technically even have a standing army. So
Well, Iceland is isolated, like kind of, but Montenegro is right in the
Costa
pocket.
Rica should join NATO. They have a military spending of 0% because they have no military.
That's
Yeah.
stupid.
So I mean, you can't expect Iceland to fork over 2% of their non-existent military budget. But they don't have a military budget though. They're in there for protection and economic reasons. All right.
And
Whatever.
let's be
Yeah,
honest.
that's what we're all doing. That's what we're all
And-
doing. But
and
they're
let's
not
be
doing
honest.
their part.
I
They're
must
doing their
mention one
What
thing.
exactly, like, what would they contribute in your mind that would be proportionate to their?
I don't know. Everything that we agreed with as requirement for NATO, at least 2% of your military spending on it.
Okay, well, they have no military.
Then get one.
One thing. I think we don't want Germany to have 2% because estimates have shown if Germany would have 2%, they would have like a military that is far bigger than Russia's. And to be honest, nobody in Europe wants that. Nobody.
Hey,
Especially
wait a
not the
second.
French and the Poles.
Cosmic, can you take the hangout check, please, chat?
What's going on?
Okay.
I don't want that to happen.
Okay, let's talk.
Okay,
let's talk
because
about
something-
No, no,
I don't
right?
think you
I
need
want
to
to
worry about that, Alp. but
No, I
still.
want to die. No, please stop.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's the first South American country to join NATO's partnership deal. So, I guess there's a precedent there that's interesting. It's not really too much to go in about. I guess it'll be interesting to see if they actually contribute the required amount or if things will change to accommodate them. And yeah, it's interesting. Yay for South America.
First South American to join.
Should we move
That's
on to the
Revolution.
Oh, I was busy in the chat. I'm not interested in this Colombia NATO thing. Just
yeah, we should go.
I
let's go
honestly
into
could
the
care
free
less
for all.
who joins NATO. To be honest, I mean, sure, we can probably invite Russia to NATO if you want. Okay, maybe that would be a problem actually. But
that would destroy the entire point of NATO, though.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Russia, but and maybe some of its allies. I'm talking
Oh,
about
but
if India and Japan joins NATO, whatever. I don't care.
Should we move to free for all?
People,
Yeah,
okay. So yeah, so people are complaining about my text speed being too fast or too slow. Yeah, she's saying that it's too slow, and then I have some people in the comments saying it's too fast. I can't compensate for everyone's reading speed.
Yeah,
What the
it's
majority
literally
says?
impossible.
Pause the video.
It's impossible to accommodate for everyone's because
Yeah.
Just
everybody
stop being
reads at a different
illiterate.
speed. Exactly. I try to fix this issue. I get multiple people to look at my videos before I upload them and tell me like, okay, if you couldn't read this, like tap my shoulder. So I got like a couple friends of mine and a couple family members to check out some of my stuff before I upload it. Everyone says something different. Everyone reads at different speeds, so it's impossible. It's really, I mean, sometimes it gets a little much and you can spend like 5 seconds staring at someone saying please, and you
Yeah,
don't
but-
need that. But
Yeah, you need also to take into consideration that not everyone in the mapping community is a goddamn English native
Then
speaker.
I would have to make my
that's true too.
start- Then I would have to make my speed like 20 seconds for.
Oh yeah, cheese.
Oh,
So
your
basically,
speed-
Jesus statements got debunked.
That's why I should get voice actors.
Yeah, voice acting is
I would like
think
to
it's the
do that,
best
but
thing.
you gotta pay these people.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
I can
problem.
do it
I'll
for free.
pay
We're-
them with
most of us are
compliments.
teens. Well, not me.
We'll
So we
them
can't
with
afford that.
How does that pay
You're a
for you?
very good sayer of words.
Ooh.
Saint, wow. How
If you
could
can't read a book, you uneducated player.
Yeah, I can read. The book is in
Hey,
fucking
you
German.
can't read fast. What
Like
the
we're
fuck
doing
are
the
you
roast.
doing? just make it go too fast.
Well, some
Everyone
people
was reading
sight
it.
read. Everyone reads it at a different speed. Some people are just able to look at it and it's like, okay, there we go. Some people, English is a second language, so it might be a little harder. You can't accommodate for everyone, especially in the mapping community where it's like such a diverse community and everyone reads English at different speeds. So
People are saying you should just read a book and learn, or it's like, why are you watching mapping videos? Like, do you think this is okay? What do you think about these arguments, Cosmic?
It kind of makes sense. If you can't speak English, you shouldn't watch mapping because maybe if you're in the Russian or Spanish community, then it might work. But it's just not there.
Imperial.
No,
you're
but
also
like
not a
let's
native
say
English speaker.
they know English, but they're not like proficient in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like obviously, I got known English to browse YouTube, right? You gotta at least have some knowledge of it.
Okay, I'm being pressured for making it Turkish since I ever begin mapping. So what can I do?
Yeah, I have some people saying, "Can you please make this video in Russian?" I was like, "I don't even know Russian. How do you expect me to make it in Russian if I don't know Russian?"
I resisted for 2 years now, making it English.
Скажи это
Yeah,
по-русски,
but Alex,
пожалуйста.
not everybody is you. Right?
Not everybody is you. Please.
And even if I do make it faster, then I probably will get more people complain. And then if I make it slower, and I'll be complaining people are too slow. I'm never gonna get the perfect time.
I mean, everyone has a different stance on cheese waffles, saying don't accommodate for them. Your content's boring and slow. I personally, I've never had an issue with Viper's speed. It's like right in the money for me. Maybe a few times.
Yeah, but that's
advocating to
like I would rather have text linger around a little longer than usual than have to go back and pause it because it went by too fast.
Yes.
I mean, some people like don't care about the text. They prefer just seeing explosions. You know, Michael Bay explosions.
Literally.
Yeah.
So that's the part of the community we don't want to have. All right.
Everyone loves Michael Bay explosions, and to a point where they
Take me by the hand.
Not back. No,
F. Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay.
It was a little.
F means
That's F.
press F to pay respect.
Pay respect.
F is for freaking.
I mean, yeah,
captions, but captions. What like I feel like some people don't enable it; they don't know what's going on. So that's why I put the text there. So not only that, I have to make the captions separately because if I do captions, that's gonna take That's gonna even take even longer to make actually. If I do captions, and it also wouldn't look the best because it'll overlap some things. And it's like I want to see this part and I couldn't. That's why I use like inbuilt subtitles because it's better that way.
Oh my god, with the Billie Jean dance.
I mean, it's
people will
true.
continue to bother you until you actually do it.
My god. I
Okay,
never have a good response either. I just have to like moan and say, "Oh my god," because what am I supposed to say? About Billie Jean? I'm supposed to do it. Is what I'm supposed to do.
You have to do it at one time.
Oh, God. Okay. I mean, I will eventually.
Eventually, say that
And then that will be the day.
2 years later.
Remember the day before you commit suicide.
I'm not gonna do it on Viper's channel. So if I'm ever on here,
don't do it here.
Yeah, no.
I mean, if you tried it, that Viper would just end you.
I'm not gonna barge into someone's home and start doing a naked Billie Jean dance. It's not happening.
Why not?
Shouldn't we
encourage?
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, why not? You're gracing them with that.
Anyways, we have to get back hit on Batman's view on electoral vote.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
There we go.
Yeah, I said we're going to get back to it. So Batman.
All right, Batman. We had this argument like
Can we get
a
Chris
year and a half
on?
ago.
What? Yeah, but
And
Chris would be against democracy altogether.
I've been waiting for a rematch ever since. So let's go. Please, I'm genuinely curious. What do you believe are the benefits of the Electoral College?
What are you?
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna.
What's your arguments against them then?
Everyone shush.
Okay.
Let
What'd you say?
Cosmic back.
What are your arguments against them then?
What are my arguments against them? Okay, I think a system where a candidate is able to lose the popular vote by 2 million and still end up being elected president is inherently anti-democratic.
Those 2 million is basically California.
Okay, but is California is California part of the United States or is it not?
It is part of the United States, but doesn't represent all the population.
I think
Okay,
California
but-
disagrees with you.
All right, well, that's where that amount of the population lives. Why would it matter if that population is stationed in one central area?
Because
spread out?
California, look, one coast and the other coast can have different views and have different environments, different issues, and different other shit. Okay.
By the
It's
way,
not only
I-
like with
I want
California,
to
it's also
challenge
with
the
Texas that they have less votes.
Is this a thing that between you two, or are the others allowed to join in?
Yeah, you can join in, but just like
I'm gonna
Right.
challenge cheese waffles in type racing. So be right back.
okay.
I can
Oh,
type
boy.
race.
Yeah, let's have a type
Let's
race
just
match.
say it's a
I'll be in
ridiculous.
love you.
It's a ridiculous concept. I said this earlier. It's a theoretical nation, 2 provinces. One province is the capital city. It's got like 90% of the population. Then you got an outside province that's like as big as Siberia. It encompasses 90% of the nation's land, but it has 10% of the population. Which one of those provinces do you think should have more say over the nation?
Equal, both of them.
Wah, wah.
Okay, but one of those provinces has
When
90% of the
fucking
population.
population are deciding over 90% of the rest. What the
No,
bullshit
okay.
is that?
Yeah, and how's that bad?
How about we
What do you
separate?
mean, how
this
is
from
that
the
bad?
province
That's not
entirely?
democracy.
Let's take the
Technically, what you can do if like this, if this one province so sparsely populated, fucking like people like fucking Osama bin Laden could go there, rally up a small group, and would win the elections.
Oh,
We're getting a
what?
little diluting here. Okay, let's see here. Look, I forgot what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, with the Electoral College, you lead to shit like swing states, where the entire election is just decided by like a handful of states. It becomes a sports championship of who's going to pick up Florida, who's going to get Wisconsin. It's not about an actual exchange of ideas. It's just this ridiculous horse.
Okay, well, if if there's no electoral college, then the popular vote would rely on the cities. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Okay,
it's
but
the
if that's
people-
where the majority of the population lives, doesn't
yeah,
it make
well, if
sense?
the majority of the
That's
population
who would
lives in
have the most
cities,
say.
sure, and you know how people in cities are usually the ones that's more liberal than the rest.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
so why
it would be the same
It
thing.
would probably be like liberals
Conservative.
dominating the whole fucking country.
No, I would be making the same points if the cities were more conservative. It's a democratic principle.
To be
Bertrand,
honest,
your,
that's one of the main issues with America. There are just not enough
Bertrand, your
parties.
point is already
No.
proven wrong by the fact that Trump only lost by 2 million votes.
Look, the point of the
Holy
electoral college.
I think that's one of the basic problems because America has not enough parties to basically build
That too,
a
exactly.
powerful opposition. Because if you have an opposition, you have to hear the voices from the minority too. If you have just 2 parties battling each other, then the opposition is basically it's not working. You need to have
you
this.
could not possibly be more right. That is like a first past the post 2-party system is an automatic way to get the most unrepresentative results every time around.
Exactly, and that's why the state system is, well,
Exactly.
I think
So,
it's a common problem, a linked problem. That's what I was trying to say.
but I mean, like, if we're gonna have a 2-party system, we're just making it worse by doing this. We're pouring salt on the wound by introducing this ridiculous asinine system that
Also the argument that because of smaller
GGs.
states like getting
I win.
getting to decide over themselves, that's a bullshit one because the US is a federal country and those states actually have like the means to make their own legislation.
that's true as well.
I just
Something
won
that's
against
majority rules
cheese
and
and
minority
type
rights.
racing. GG.
Okay.
I wanted to
I'm
join.
sorry, what?
I was doing type racing with cheese waffles. I just won.
Yeah,
We were
I want
talking
to
about-
fight all. Like, who wants
We
to
were
fight me?
talking about the topics.
I got fingers.
All right. Alp, you say you wanted to join that type,
Yes.
so you could.
Fuck.
Yeah, every MapperCast member goes type race.
I'm gonna send the link. I'm
Where are you sending it?
on the Google
Yeah,
Hangout.
Reddit. So I don't think we've really been answering questions
Yeah,
yet.
I messed up.
All right.
No,
Best
we have-
Mapper ever. Can you just stop like announcing your disdain with certain members?
I
hate
hate
Void
people.
Viper.
Just please ask questions now because we don't-
Aggravated. All right, yeah, we're taking questions, so we'll debate shit. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
that's,
we'll
that's
debate.
good.
Oh, hang on. I gotta sign in.
Where is? Oh my god. I'm gonna try to get it out within the next 2 weeks since I have to leave town in
Bill
that
and
amount of
Judas.
time. So it should be done. I'm at obstacles and I have to deal with health shit. It's should Latin America form a military alliance to not get bossed around by the United States?
Monroe.
I mean, I think that would ultimately be futile if we're talking a military alliance. I don't think anyone really. Unfortunately, no one's going to beat America in the war game. So, There are third
Okay, I'm done.
party
I'm
candidates.
done. I
There
quit.
are third party candidates.
Okay, yes, I win.
What the hell?
Oh,
Morning
you
is
don't
not a
win.
word.
Third
Okay.
parties are important.
Hell,
because
these are
there
not
more
words.
than because there are more than 2 ideologies to be represented.
Yeah, there are third party candidates, but it's not the fact it's not that they don't exist. The issue is that the system is so inherently biased against them that they have no chance of winning.
From a European point of view, the two parties of the US, you first have the socially liberal neoliberals and the
Good
socially
balance
conservative neoliberals. You got no fucking left wing.
Yeah, we just straight up don't.
Well, yeah,
No
like,
left wing in this country.
why do we have
Any
why do we have
going to slap you for that?
why do we have Republican and Diet Republican instead of like right and left?
We should draft Jeb Bush.
Because of the
Jeb
fucking
Bush from
Citizens United.
MapperCast.
Jeb Bush. Straight up, if we could ever get Jeb Bush on the show, I'd be very happy. Guys, we
Why
gotta
are
book
we-
Jeb Bush.
Jeb Bush is like one. It's
How is
like
this
one of the
working?
actual decent Republicans, in my opinion.
Yo, free spot. Demand a rematch.
do ya?
These words were retarded. Nothing.
Yeah,
is
they
not
were.
freaking- Oh, I literally typed nothing with the G, and then they put apostrophe. It was so freaking.
How the fuck
retarded.
are Democrats are? Yeah, they're diet Republicans. There's socially liberal, but
Well,
if
like
you
the
actually look
people
at the
vote.
economic policy,
What?
you look at the voting records. Too, they
What
vote
happened?
with Republicans.
I don't know
liberal
what happened.
about 90% of the time.
Could the EU beat USA? Why should we fight? I mean, there's no point.
There is a point to
you
kill your
guys are
fucking
playing-
enemies.
Oh
my
Let
God.
them bleed.
It
You
keeps
guys
breaking.
are playing Type Racer.
Yeah, we are.
USA.
Yeah, we are.
I don't know. It's, I
This
think
is- We could do this in the future.
Hold on, what were we gonna say, Darren?
I said, can the EU beat the USA?
Okay, it's broken, guys.
Well,
They
I
can
think
just
it's
get any
equal.
race.
It depends on the scenario and depends on the area where they fight in. So
It does.
If we
The EU
Okay.
has a trade axis with China, Mexico, Canada, and Brazil.
Of course, no,
Against-
it's not
against
broken.
the US.
I mean, if we are fighting about military,
my-
I don't think so.
What's
Okay,
this?
yeah.
And
I-
nowadays,
I'm
you fight with economics.
Okay,
I'm
I-
in the mood for
economics-
debate today.
How do you guys feel about mapping series that involve customized countries with a species that uses magic?
That we saw in Erengeth, and that went
Erengeth.
horribly.
Arrogant.
If they can do it right, then it'll be pretty worth it.
Everyone who doesn't know, Erengeth is basically my attempt to make
It's
fantasy.
the worst series in the entire
It
universe.
failed.
Don't watch it.
Failed.
Don't
Try
watch it.
not to talk over.
The end of a channel, Imperial.
Come on now.
I basically tried to make fantasy mapping with that series, but it failed because no one watched it because this community is full of history fanatics, and no one watched.
No, because your series sucked.
Thank you.
There,
Red.
113 words per minute.
I bet you will defend it.
I don't know why we're doing this in the podcast.
Why are you playing Type Racer?
I don't know. Oh my god.
And I
What do you
hope
guys think?
Japanese.
You
You're
want-
answering questions.
You want
not
can I
playing Type
participate
Racer.
in this type race?
What do you guys think about remastering a mapping series in Hearts of Iron 4? You see, I basically mapping in a game is kind of lazy in my opinion.
You should play chess instead.
How do you chess? Why?
Solitaire.
Alternate history of Logan Paul.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh no.
No, stop.
Galaxy's fucking entire characters from different series went insane because we watched Erengeth.
Yeah, thank you.
Galax said that.
Oh, Galax.
Yeah.
Thank you, Galax.
Cosmic, what if NATO had a vote so Mexico can join NATO and the US gets overpowered by most of NATO?
I would enjoy watching that unfold.
Same, to be honest.
That would make me
I,
happy.
I don't like NATO.
Vibe is
I like
cheating on
NATO.
Type Racer.
I'm not done. I'm done with Type Racer.
Oh, Cosmic,
not
which
gonna
present conflict or future conflict do you think will cause World War III? Oh, I'll open this up to everybody.
The Brunei liberation of Malaysia.
I don't know about that.
Brunei. Why not
It
Brunei?
was no question to you, Red.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, that's a problem.
No. Shut up, guys.
Jeb or
I
Red
wanna.
I don't know-
How
I don't know about
this?
Jeb.
I'll play chess with.
I don't know if Jeb would be a very.
I'll play
he's not
chess.
a very.
Better
Jeb doesn't have a very. He
I
doesn't
don't
have the
even
confidence.
really want to do it.
Hey, Cosmic, let's get Jeb Bush on MapperCast.
I'm
Yeah.
down, man. Honestly, if Jeb Bush,
Fuck me over you, fuck
Jeb
Tyler.
Bush. I voted for that guy. I'm kidding.
did you vote for Jeb Bush?
I wasn't even voting at that time, so I couldn't. So I couldn't.
You
decide.
voted for Jeb Bush,
Uh,
Patron.
Jeb Bush
I wouldn't.
Twitter.
Oh, I fucking respect you now.
Send message.
I said I didn't.
Mindria, what are you doing?
Jeb Bush is a sweet soul.
Hey, do you want to join MapperCast?
Even before he actually mentions about MapperCast.
There's got to be a way to contact Jeb Bush. We could honestly, if we had the will, we could probably get him on the show.
I
Alright.
have Jeb Bush.
Hashtag invite Jeb Bush to
I have
MapperCast.
Yeah.
follow
Hashtag
Jeb
Yes.
Bush.
Jeb Bush
Hashtag
for
Jeb Bush
MapperCast.
20.
We should get them like
We
a
are too
hashtag in the
relevant
map
for
in
Jeb
Google
Bush.
Plus and then get it trending on Twitter.
Hi, Jeb Bush to MapperCast.
Why not? Why not?
Jeb Bush, teach me your ways.
I would have him on. Why not? Had my neighbor on.
Wait. I just have
Yeah,
a
but
question.
Jeb Bush is a different deal. He's like a he's
Jeb
like
Bush
a
is a-
They have like the
candidate.
same amount of rights to be on the show.
Wait, I
They
have a
are
question.
both humans. They are both humans.
Exactly.
Why
Jeb
not?
Bush for. Jeb
Why
Bush
not
for
we
me.
get Upian and Anda at the same stream? It would be
But to be
fun.
honest, if that would come out that Jeb Bush is on here, we would ruin his entire
Jeb Bush.
electrical.
Yeah, I don't think Jeb Bush is
They
gonna
would like
join. Let's
they
be
would write
realistic.
articles about how like Jeb Bush appears on show
was on stupid
working
pineapple or stupid
Jeb
podcast
Bush,
with
Jeb
Nazis and
Yeah.
communists.
Jeb Bush is
Jeb
definitely
Bush
not going
supports
to join. Let's be
radical-
realistic.
Yeah, bush mapping.
Jeb Bush supports.
Bush, man.
Imagine Jeb Bush become a mapper.
Jeb Bush collaborates
God.
with radical.
He would make USA
At
conquer
every
everything.
end of his video, he would say, "Please clap."
Yes, I
His
meant
videos
that.
would, like probably still be better than Romanian.
Probably.
Jeb Bush would become instantly the most subscribed mapper because of his popularity.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Just-
basically.
Right. Teach Jeb Bush how to animate.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Any other questions?
Jeb Bush.
Despacito.
I have one. I have a question.
What's your question?
Why not we get the Albanian animator Upian and Serbian Anda at the same
Don't
stream?
do it. Don't.
Oh, Third Balkan War.
Why not? It would
That's a
be
very
fun.
bad
It got
idea.
to- it
Don't
will
get
escalate.
Serb
It's fine.
nationalists and
It will
Albanian
escalate into
nationalists.
the Third Balkan War.
The escalation.
Yeah, let's not talk about Third Balkan War.
Bush,
I don't think that's going to happen.
Uh,
Although some mappers have done it. We know
Third
that
Balkan
War
War.
happens, the Ottomans are going to win.
we're open for more question, guys. We need topics to discuss. So we don't
Give
just,
us something
Yeah,
about
so we don't
politics.
I don't want to
Please
fall
be
into a
human.
Jeb Bush.
Give us something about politics. We dare you.
Yeah,
Give us
please.
juice.
Ask
For mapping topics. You wanted mapping topics.
Mapping and
Alternate
politics.
history of
Give
Bush
us something
history.
interesting to talk
Yeah.
about.
Should have said Bush history.
Bush history.
What happened to
Garrick says I
Ramana
wanted to DM him and encourage him to join MapperCast.
What's happened
Cosmic
to
Mapping,
Romania?
Void Viper,
What's happened
abortion.
to
Guys,
Romanian mapping?
okay. Hold on, abortion. We got abortion.
What?
Oh,
What's-
come on.
What's what? Abortion?
It's just
No,
abortion.
I mean
Okay,
that's
yeah.
a little. That's a little.
Got
that's a
any,
little-
what's your stance, Battery? Let's see. Do we
What
differ
happened to
on
Romania?
this?
man?
Those children, they don't know politics and they are not voters, so they can talk.
That's a little.
I can get it.
Abortion's a little awkward. You
Red,
know?
what is the style?
Awkward.
I can get into it about abortion.
You sound like you're from Africa.
No.
What?
Well, you do.
When it comes to issues like
I
these, I'd rather
actually
meet in the
sound
middle.
like Imperialis.
All right. Well, I believe that pre-embryonic zygotes are not humans, and therefore there's no moral issue with flushing them out.
All right.
I probably could have said that a little more like elegantly. than
Before I-
flushing them out. But
Removing them from the plane of existence.
there
I'm
you
not
go.
gonna comment
Personally,
on
I think that first 3 months, I mean, okay, it's fine, you can do it, but after the 3 months or something at that point, or actually, wait, 3 to 6 months between that time, the baby would by then develop a nervous
Yeah,
system
yeah.
and all those
Yeah,
other
I
kind of
agree with
shit.
that.
And I think that after that point, you had your chance to abort, but it's too late now. The babies
Yeah,
are.
it's like also in Germany,
Yeah.
you're only allowed to have to abort like in this amount of time. If you don't, then just go to Czechia or Romania. They'll do it anyways.
The only exception I would allow, that would like is not constrained to time is like in cases like rape or something like that.
Or if the mother's life is threatened.
If the baby's defective, it's
Defective.
Defective.
What?
Doesn't boot up
What?
right.
This is like some national
Have you tried
socialist.
turning it on and off again?
the
Yeah,
fair and
yeah,
worthy
up,
of
up until the
If the
development
baby is
of the-
defect, you should put it into a gas chamber.
kidding.
Okay, what else? We got?
Bullying cases of rape, but seriously, in some exceptions like cases of rape, I would.
My
I would
views
allow it.
trigger you. I'm glad they do.
To be honest, we are just
Listen up.
Either that, just wear a fucking condom.
Okay, Cosmic, what is your opinion on Obama's expansion of the drone program? I thought that it was disgusting and a terrible overreach of power.
Do you guys think that reunification of Korea is possible in this decade?
Nope.
Not
No.
this
No,
decade,
no,
but
no, no,
maybe
no.
next decade. It would be more possible next decade.
No, I
I'll
doubt
give
it
till
because North Korea basically pulled a
2022.
North Korea and now they're building new missiles. I read it on Jeb Bush's Twitter account, so it must be right.
Jeb Bush.
True.
Jeb
that's-
Bush. Jeb.
Jeff or
Yeah,
MapperCast.
he's a legend. He's
Jeb
also
is a
he's
mess.
also a soldier fighting for
Jeb
Nazi
is a
Germany.
waste.
I love how basically all of Alp's messages are deleted.
Cheese Waffle says, "Wow, would you wow at? You
No,
wow
I
at, like,
retract them before I'm arrested, Imperial.
wow,
Okay.
wow at the drone thing? Because I thought if anything that Cheese and I could agree on, it would be the drone thing. Like,
How about George P. Bush for president?
Bush.
no.
George
I
Prescott
don't
Bush.
only know Jeb.
There's George Bush. There's George Bush the second, and there's also George Bush the third. There's actually
There's too many Georges and Bushes. Like, come on.
There's George Prescott Bush is actually the son.
Okay. Thoughts
Whoa,
on
everyone.
capitalism ending in 2068? I don't know about that.
Capitalism would probably not end, but evolve at that point.
I mean, I hope. I think people are too stuck in their ways to ever. I mean, if it was
we
up to
still
me,
live-
Capitalism today would probably be different in like 50 years, anyways. So
If we still live in this year,
Check the link I sent.
All right.
I mean, we need reforms.
I would be president
this
this year. I'm kidding.
Of
Maybe.
course,
Okay.
Mindria. Oh,
I'm
fucking
kidding. I'm
course.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, I don't like
Thank Rat for that.
whatever. No, not gonna start that one.
Okay.
George B. Bush. I'm gonna change my name to George Bush and run for president. And when I'm turned 35,
So
Okay.
stupid. Okay.
Where's
How
the
is
problem?
Indonesia? But I don't know about that one. Cheese waffles.
How is Indonesia Muslim? Their population is Muslim. They
Well,
identify as
there's like some Muslim traders who visited them back in the old days.
My
the good
problem
old
is-
days.
The good old days.
I
now
wouldn't
we-
say those are good old days.
The good old days
Oh,
when
no,
they
I'm
colonized
implying for
Australia,
this video.
but they actually didn't.
capitalism.
Okay, with the capitalism thing, I'm not even an anti-capitalist, man. So I'm
capitalism.
I'm not at all. I'm a social. I really like the overall idea of capitalism, that you're able to not your job isn't defined by the government. You can go out there and chase your dreams and pursue those things. I just think certain public utilities are not best left up to the profit motive. Obviously, things like healthcare and
I'm going out to buy myself 50 hamburgers, and the government can't stop me.
I like my hamburgers made by McDonald's, but you know I want my fucking healthcare by the government.
Hey, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?
Yeah, better.
Cosmic, why aren't you in Europe yet?
Why aren't I in Europe? I'd be there if I could, man. I want to get out of this fucking country.
There's no money.
They'll come
They
to
will
you.
never take
I will be removing the U.S. government website in favor of making the DFOE the official site of the United States of America.
That's pretty good.
I will make America.
Stop.
I will make
Obama?
America strong again.
I want to die.
Believe in the Constitution.
We will make America Hitler again.
Same, to be honest.
We will make America Merkel again.
What do you guys think?
gotta-
What do you guys think of presidential power in general? Should it be expanded or reduced?
I think it should be kept the same.
Reduce it.
I think
I'm
it
not
should be
going
kept
to
the
answer
Reduced.
that.
In Germany, reducing it
allowed
would be
to talk on
pointless.
this? No.
Keep the same.
No,
Keep the
Rat,
same.
stop.
No,
We
not
already
keep-
hooked in.
Alp is for expanding
No, Rat, stop.
presidential. Ardon, if you're listening, give him
talking
Ben.
over each other.
Brett, what about we decrease the power of the president in Germany?
Do you think the EU's
Germany-
days are
the
numbered?
president in
I
Germany-
Our president is the best. He's like
It
a
needs
monarch,
to be
just not
reduced.
The Prime
Extremely.
Minister of Germany has all the power already. so-
In the United States, the president can just straight up anytime he or she wants nuke anyone.
Didn't Donald Trump sign an executive order that allowed him to fire judges on the Supreme Court?
Did he now? I haven't heard of
He
that.
did like a few
I
weeks
wouldn't be
ago.
surprised.
I think Emperor Tiger Star retweeted something.
Yeah, that
Well,
would,
that's the beginning of the decline of the judicative.
yeah. I mean,
No,
the
well,
Supreme
well,
Court's
the
gone.
Congress and the Senate can just repeal it, so.
No, but they're never united. They're always divided. And that
Alan
What do you-
Polar Games Vlogs and More asks, "What do you think
What
of
do you-
Catalonia independence?" Why do I keep speaking like this?
Yeah,
Oh,
Catalonia
who the fuck is
independence,
playing the guitar?
no.
Oh, I can't believe you
Correct,
guys
we
actually
are
did
not-
that.
Someone needs to
discuss that one.
trombone.
I'm big critic.
I will
New
use my
trombone.
gun.
Okay, who asked? We're talking about Catalonian independence. I mean, okay, what
Fuck
the
is going
fuck?
on?
I was playing with the stapler. Hey, you
No,
play the
this is-
stapler. I play the.
I
I
think
play
he's
the.
playing with his gun.
Yeah, that sounds more like a gun.
Oh shit.
Nobody piss off Batman. Shit.
It's the most American thing to
Yeah.
say.
Okay, about Catalonian independence. If you asked me like a year ago, I probably would have said I was for it. But it seems that I always kind of knew that Spain was economically dependent on them. And I don't know, maybe that wouldn't be the absolute best thing in the world if Spain just lost like all of their economic viability. Can you stop that?
Rather the problem would be if Catalonia would become independent, they would be economically isolated.
Yeah.
Catalonia
we got,
independence is fine, but no.
Is feminism necessary?
No.
Not
Not
anymore.
Well, there's a
That's
to a
fair.
certain degree,
Well,
yes, but when it
We
gets
kind of
too
need
far, sometimes it
feminism.
gets too
I
far.
mean, ask those women in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Oh.
okay, if you're asking in terms of the world, obviously, if we're talking...
Obviously, feminism is good to a certain extent. Now, if you overdo it, you overdo it.
I suppose, like, globally,
Nowadays,
obviously...
We're talking about the feminism that actually still wants that women are equal to men and not that women have more rights than men.
I know, that's why I said feminism is good to a certain degree.
it also depends where we are looking. Like,
I like
Arabia is
those fancy
obviously-
terms like first wave
necessary.
feminism and such.
Yeah, it's
But
all
I don't
determined
quite
on the
know them.
geographic location. Because in America, they
I
get
I
a
was
little
talking in
over-
general. I mean, it's enough.
in general, we absolutely need it.
Only to a certain degree. Only to like a good amount, not like overdoing it. 'Cause,
Well,
like-
I don't think-
and
I
you'll
don't think you
get
can
you'll
overdo-
get Berkeley. You'll get Berkeley if you overdo
Well,
it.
I don't think you can overdo feminism in Saudi Arabia or India. I
Not
think
anytime
they're...
soon, anyways.
Yeah, not anytime soon. I think they kind of need a Berkeley in Mecca, where women were only just allowed to drive, for God's sake, and you got
Well, at least they're making progress on that.
yeah, they're making progress.
I am Fef.
Okay.
Okay.
Weird.
What else we got? We're talking about is Brunei the nation that controls MapperCast from behind. What is with the Brunei jokes? Did something happen
It's
with
like
Brunei?
it's like seeing
We are
jokes
not
like-
obliged to
Brand
say.
fix
We're not
Brunei
obliged to say.
yourself.
We're not obliged to say about that. Okay, guys.
Not obliged to talk about Brunei.
Yeah, we're not obliged to talk about Brunei and MapperCast together in one sentence.
Yeah, and anyone who closely followed me, he will know what what's with Brunei.
Yep.
Okay, we're talking about SpongeBob for a minute.
Why?
Yeah, someone asked like,
I
what's
don't
your
watch
opinion on
SpongeBob anymore.
SpongeBob season 6 to season 8? I think those are like the newer seasons.
Yeah, everything from a certain season,
SpongeBob's been around
which
for at
one
least 15
sucked.
years. Actually, more
Apparently-
like 20 years.
Apparently they were shit for a while. We all knew that, but like apparently Steven Hillenburg came back and they've been like recovering a little bit. I watched one of the newer episodes. I watched Mimic Madness. It was supposed to be this SpongeBob's back, guys.
It's overrated.
Yeah, yes, thank you. It was okay. It didn't make me want to jump off a
SpongeBob
bridge,
Generation 2.
but it was all right. It's definitely overrated. I think
Generation
people
2
just-
SpongeBob.
People were so excited at the prospect of getting the original SpongeBob back that it's like, oh, something not terrible. Yes, come here, I will take you. So I don't know.
Remember when Patrick used to be like a normal kind of guy, except he became stupid in later seasons?
He was like stoner stupid. He was like, I mean, he had moments of wisdom, but I mean, he was like silly, not just like actually retarded.
He got sillier in later seasons.
Well, he became a piece of shit. He became like a dick. That was his whole character.
I
Is that
don't know
he's a
which
dick.
season I like. The first and the second season, and I think also the third were like fine, but then it kind of went downhill in my opinion.
What is your opinion on the whole Elon Musk controversy, funding the GOP and whatnot?
Yeah, well, Elon Musk also said he's a socialist.
I'm voting for
supposed-
that guy.
Got it. I'll say I'm definitely not surprised that the big multi-billionaire fucking voted for the party that is advocating for the big billionaires. Not surprised.
Elongated muskrat.
Future, he's producing flamethrowers for them.
I support the guy more now.
Oof.
Your opinion on the Russian Mueller investigation?
There was no collusion.
Don't know about that. My stance is let them finish the investigation. If there's something, then there's something. If there's nothing, then there's nothing. I am like in the middle.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty fine with it, but I still don't believe that the Trump administration is actually directly involved. Like Trump himself, I don't think he's directly involved. Maybe other people in his administration, but not him.
I definitely don't think he was guilty. Well, I don't know. Obviously, it's speculation. What do I fucking know? But I don't think he was directly guilty for collusion. I think he probably did like some money laundering shit because that's just what he's always done with his businesses. So they could probably get him for that, but I don't know.
Well, I don't think Trump is really anything directly involved with any of that Russian shit. Only like complimented to him. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not all about that. I think it's really hacky when that's the main argument. Oh, Trump, he's fucking trying to take away everyone's healthcare, but those darn Russians, that's the big scandal here. That shit pisses me off to no end.
Mapping Article 13 was repelled, so that's not a thing anymore.
Speaking of Russia and Trump, Putin and Trump is like meeting up tomorrow, I think.
Which one's going to get assessed?
In Finland.
It's a really bad idea to meet alone with Putin.
Whenever these two meet, things tend to get worse.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see what happens next.
I don't think. There you go.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, cheese waffles. Virtually every other modern Western nation would like to disagree with you.
We need to at least. I think it should be half and half. There should be private and public healthcare.
No.
I agree with that. I don't want private.
Maybe public healthcare to a certain degree, but I want to leave the private healthcare a chance to like grow. I want them to expand.
Because in Germany we have a split healthcare, and that basically created like a system of two classes where the private healthcare basically is better off than the public one.
Well,
and basically
competition would mean better quality healthcare.
That's been
yeah,
disproven.
but the problem is the private healthcare most people can't afford.
No, it's not. Okay, like the United States, objectively,
basically, a system that I would support is that everyone is mandatory to have public healthcare, and then you can like buy other private healthcare stuff on top of it. Like it's in many countries possible already.
A public option, at the very least, so that there's a minimum standard of living that people don't fall behind.
Public healthcare should be like, I think public healthcare should be beneficial to like everybody, but in a way where like government workers mainly should deserve those kind of things too.
Okay,
like businesses providing their own healthcare to their workers, that would be good. But only optional though.
I mean, it's hard to make the points that free market healthcare is better when the United States has just consistently been at the bottom of the developed world's healthcare rankings over and over again.
Not the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom. We were just ranked the worst in the developed world.
Oh, my mic was muted the whole time. God damn it.
My God.
I was trying to talk. I was like, how come I'm getting talked? I was like, my mic's not on. Oh,
Curb your enthusiasm.
I was reading like cheese waffles talking about healthcare, and then I couldn't even. Did I even answer SpongeBob thing?
Yeah, you haven't been talking for a while.
Yeah, my mic was muted the whole time.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, and this is actually my point. What Concordia said was like, well, I'm not sure if it's 100% true. I don't know. I just take it from him. Well, according to Concordia, healthcare is like left to the free market in the Netherlands, and they have one of the best healthcare systems in the world.
Yeah, they're also a very small nation. There's not a lot of people to cover.
With a lot of population still.
I mean, yeah,
this is
with the population.
This is not public healthcare. This is like free. This is like private healthcare, not public healthcare. And private healthcare can cover more grounds than public.
I mean,
and private healthcare can focus on their own regions or something like that.
Depends on what kind of public healthcare you're talking about, though, because there's all sorts of different programs. You have like the NHS, where it's legit just ran by the government. What we advocate for here in the United States is Medicare for all, which just means everyone gets a Medicare card. It's paid for. We're not changing the healthcare infrastructure. You just the government is
Oh,
paying.
yeah, and the
for it
Netherlands
instead of the
also
insurance companies.
having health insurance is mandatory, so you can't make it that expensive. Yeah.
Obamacare, that's mandatory.
It is. I think they got rid of that though. I could be wrong.
They haven't got rid of Obamacare yet. I think.
I don't mean
Whoever
Obama.
was putting-
And
The individual mandate.
I mean, they're still in the process of removing Obamacare. They have not done that yet because people keep
Haven't,
blocking it.
Thank God. I'm very happy.
They
that
blocked
I
it with one
And-
vote. They
and
blocked it with one
Concordia,
vote.
I don't
It's a good thing.
know. I don't know why you
No,
said.
that's
It's a good thing. Battering, it's.
And Concordia, I just read it
don't
up
know what
and
you're talking about, man. It's because of that Medicare expansion that.
Let Red talk.
why did I just read when that Netherlands has like a split system where you have private and public healthcare?
Okay,
Concordia.
Asia Theresa May sue the European Union. I think they're leaving the
She
European
can't
Union.
because she technically still has to obey like the European Supreme Court.
I gotta go, so I guess see you all later.
All right,
We
so yeah,
should wrap this up.
we gotta wrap it up soon. So
Yeah.
All right, so
and let's take a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up. I'm sorry I haven't talked. I was playing chess. So.
Then we can get into our closing act.
I don't know who, but
Right, cheese waffles. That doesn't like the high quality healthcare is gonna skyrocket in price. Then yes, everyone will be able to afford some type of healthcare, but you're gonna get
the more
healthcare
out there, the cheaper the price is because competition. That's why there's
It's
that's why Coke
free-
products are
free
cheap.
market
That's
like
why
this.
soda.
Ah.
Dude, this is why soda's cheaper
No
than
wrong.
water.
I gotta.
The highest standard of living is generally
Got it,
dominated by
cool.
countries with
No,
what
I
could
got
be
you.
considered big government.
Exactly. Like you hear these points being made over and over again that are just sort of inherently refuted by the fact that the policies that are quite often the exact opposite of these free market ideas are at the top of the systems. Of
Like,
By the way,
let's look at the
but-
stuff here. Finland is on top place by score. Then comes Canada, then Denmark, then
I think Theresa
Australia,
May should not
Switzerland,
sue the European
Norway,
Union.
Netherlands, and the United Kingdom, then Iceland, New Zealand.
yeah, it's these systems are used all over the developed world. What the actual populace left in America
These
wants
that's probably because the American fucking public healthcare system is not what I would consider public healthcare. They only cover like 20 million. Everyone must be under fucking public healthcare if it should work. Because that's only where you get proper taxes from and you can actually finance the whole thing.
Not to mention a Medicare for all option would actually be cheaper than what we're currently spending on our private system. That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch topics.
Few more questions.
Do we want another question or the next topic?
I mean, next
Next topic is
There's no
someone
next
earlier. I gotta answer. Someone earlier asked my opinion on Fortnite. I gotta say, Fortnite, most overrated, like empty thing I've seen since fidget spinners. It is. I genuinely don't get why it's
hate it because
become what it is.
And
It's not even the
it's a
case.
waste of
I
time.
played it.
One thing we can all agree upon that Fortnite is like the most cancerous community in the history
yeah.
of the internet.
Nah, it's not as bad as Fortnite.
I could debate that with EVE Online. No, I could debate that with EVE Online.
I just don't get it, man. I've played it. It just kind of feels like a mediocre game that would be early access on Steam and maybe it would be on the front page for a couple days.
Yeah, why is it not on?
Okay, the thing is, why I said I can compare Fortnite with EVE Online is the most respected people at EVE Online is the ones that actually scam the people the most. Like, 1,000 people got scammed, and people respect that in that community.
PUBG's dead.
Survival of
PUBG.
So that's just the most cancerous thing I ever saw within the community.
Yeah. Another one.
What's the worst thing about living in the United States except healthcare and politics? Crime, but we don't really worry about that unless you're listening to the news that often. Because
I mean, yeah.
listening to the news about crime gives you anxiety. I don't know.
Personally, I
Or
guess.
some people don't even care actually. Go ahead.
I guess this might. I guess this could be considered political, but it's just sort of the general cultural idea. Like it's a very mean place to live. There are pockets where people are nice, you know, but overall there's this sort of overlapping idea that poverty is a moral failure, and it gets hard to live under those conditions, to live in a nation that just isn't looking out for your best interests. It doesn't want to elevate everyone.
I think it's I think no, it's not really pockets. Pretty much, it's more like pockets of people who are not nice, because everyone in the United States, by default, they're pretty friendly people. I mean, they will hold the door for you. Everywhere, people hold the door for you. In a lot of European countries, people don't hold the door for you. The people in the British would try to push you out the sidewalk.
Okay, well, I mean,
but
British people and like French, okay, they're rude, but like, I mean,
Oh, I don't think you should stereotype.
But look, everyone is nice in the United States. But the only time, not everybody, but most people in the United States are pretty decent, nice people. But it's only when you talk about politics that things will start to break down. Just don't talk about politics.
Well, it gets to my point. You know, the idea that poverty is a moral failure. It's like in my opinion, the worst part about America. Okay, more stuff. What do we got? Someone... Rad Mapping. Do you control the Taiwanese military?
No.
Damn. Thought you did.
That's a shame.
I hate it in the... Oh, okay. I guess he was talking about Fortnite. I hate it, and the school people pick on me for it. Don't listen to the fucking ravenous mobs. They're nothing. Opinion on base Bulgarian surpassing Japanese mapping in the future.
Base is dead. It doesn't matter.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't even care. I don't even care about who is like the biggest mapper anymore.
Oh yeah, I haven't paid attention.
Base was like gaining 1,000 subscribers by weeks or 2 weeks.
Who's the base?
But it was also confirmed that like when he blowed up that he used subbots. So
Who are you talking about?
he
Who
said that
Who
himself.
are we talking about?
We are talking about base Bulgarian.
What kind of name is that, by the way? Base Bulgarian.
okay, no, okay. I know it's actually pronounced Batse Bulgarian, and that's like Batse is like the Bulgarian version of like bro, like bro.
Oh, that's really
Bulgarian.
My PC.
Patron, you must say Batse from now on.
Bruh, Bulgarian. That's bad. Oh, I really hate that.
Hey, remember when I used to say bruh, but I don't do that anymore?
Bruh. But we already included it.
Well, we wish to forget.
Hey, who's the most subscribed mapper so far? I was still Romanian.
Romanian. It is still Romanian, but he's
Speaking of Romanian and other stuff, it's
But
like,
the most active one is right now is Japanese.
as soon as
No, he has to pass the Russian mappers.
Oh,
I mean,
Russian mappers are
king
dead.
of the mapping.
I mean, let's see. Top mappers
yeah,
by subscribers. Let me look this up.
Okay, by the way, my PC crashed. I'm back. So
well then.
Oh, Japanese mapping has to get at least like 10,000 more subscribers just to beat just to be at the top here. Well, at least 30,000 subscribers.
To be honest,
at least 30,000.
Romanian's growth is pretty minor, so he might actually do that if he continues.
And Viper is not actually that far behind.
My channel, I'll never.
Yeah, let Viper.
But who's a mapper is blowing up?
I just realized it's only me and Sergen that's making English countryable stuff.
Blue's a mapper is blowing up right now. He's about to surpass me, and
Bruh, Bulgarian.
yeah, he might actually beat everyone, and then he will become the largest mapper. But the problem that people point out is that most of his content is not mapping related.
I mean, he's better than the Romanian, but that's just it. Just a little bit better.
By the way,
I think that the mappers overtaking each other is going to stagnate a little bit, because how long has it been since Romania took power?
Like 1 year ago.
Well, actually, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years.
Was it 2 years?
Yeah, it was 2 years.
Yeah, it was 2 years.
Yeah, he's. I predict that he's gonna dominate the board at least another 2 years, at least another year or two. So until someone.
I would say
Imperial Mapping. There's a Russian mapper called Imperial Mapper.
I know that. I know that. I didn't know that he existed before I created my channel. So yeah.
Oh God.
God, we've been around for a while, man. We've seen so many people rise and fall.
I'm getting sabotaged by my cat.
I'm still like stagnating in the top.
man, Viper. You're keeping
But,
us.
I've like
Yeah,
grown
you're Viper.
very slow. It's like
Wait,
like,
never mind. It's not
like,
2 years. It's
I
actually a year and a
grow
half.
very slow,
Actually a year
but
and a
I
half.
grow enough when people start stagnating.
Is Mapping slowly dying or not? I don't think so.
I think it's
never really-
evolving.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
always-
evolving and becoming extinct.
I
Exactly.
don't know whether we
Please,
can
one
gain
by
more.
one.
I think we're still getting a lot of mappers over time, and also I participate in the mapper tournament. And I can tell you that there's lots of promising mappers.
Okay, I'm just
At
saying,
least 3/4 of the mappers there are actually pretty good.
I'm just saying, Sergen will be leaving, and after that, I will be the sole Turkish mapper that does English country ball mapping.
Wow, rip, man.
Oh.
Yeah,
And
I
then
don't
I leave,
get the
part will
mapping
die.
dying narrative. We've been hearing mapping is dying for like what, 4 years now.
Maybe more than that.
It
probably.
happens whenever a newer generation of mappers becomes the most subscribed, and the last kind of fall down the ranks a little bit. You get a bunch of people saying it's dying, but that's not true at all. Mapping is actually the most popular it's ever been.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like,
The
me and
system
Sergen,
has stopped working with Nick HD because Nick HD, yeah, he was like after it, was
Do you mean Cosmic Dawn, Ain? I already told everybody
Yeah.
about Cosmic Dawn.
like Nick HD was for a long time the largest mapper, but he was not active. So I mean that broke the
Yeah.
cycle.
I think he wasn't the biggest for that long of a time.
I feel like everyone who takes the top disappears.
Yeah, basically.
yeah,
That's what happens.
Confusing. I don't know.
There is
I mean, I reached the top
Guys,
at
guys, let Void be number one.
I'm about to disappear.
Someday.
Yeah, I'll disappear because
Void won't disappear.
Because
Why?
that's-
Viper, you should be before you disappear. You should be number one first. You should be
Yeah.
number one.
And I disappear, Sergen will disappear, and then that part will
never
happen.
happen. And I don't think
think
I'll
of
ever
the-
be number one.
What do you
I've
think
been-
of
I've been mapping
Buddhism?
for almost, well, for like 3 years and a half. Like,
Yeah, but you're going
like,
way
You
far.
got this far. You got this far. You got
I'm still not
17,000
even number
subs.
one. Every time I get close, some guy comes out of nowhere and takes number one. Which,
AN asked, will you guys ever get Mr.
Hashtag-
Owen and Pawn onto the
Hashtag
podcast?
make. Hashtag make.
Why are you
Viper number one.
hashtagging?
why hashtag no?
Right.
Why are you hashtagging?
Guys.
Okay, we gotta. Rat was asking both.
Yeah,
I mean, I would love to have him on the show at some point, but
yeah, we did plan on having him.
No,
at some point. But
No.
you have to get in contact with him. Don't know how unwilling he would be. Mope is shit. Wow, Freespawn taking that stance.
Literally.
He's just
Hey, I
throwing
mean,
it
okay,
over
so
the
like,
Oh,
you think
damn,
he's really just
Freespawn.
riding off of his like, past moderately okay success, and then
I mean,
the
he was
last I ever
most
saw of
subscribed.
him, he was just like floating around in Skype chats because like back when people actually used Skype, and he just like posted copy pastas. It was like, why do you guys like this guy? What does he do for you that makes you like him so much? I mean,
Because he's
like
Mope,
a-
man. That's
Yeah.
essentially it.
like what?
That's literally the only
does he
reason
do
he's
for you?
Mope.
He was.
Mope.
Well, I think because if you were in that time, like a lot of people would think Mope was like the best mapper. He was also.
Yeah, if
But
you're,
now, obviously, the opinions have shifted. And
yeah,
now- a lot of the opinions now is like the top mapper is shit.
Well, I mean, most of the people he said they were like, oh yeah, Mope is the best. I mean, they're like dead now.
Yeah. Well, no, not all of them. I think
Whoa.
some of them had their opinions changed because by the time Mope fell from power, like we had the quality
I
of
think
mapping
it
videos
I think the hates
started
of the top
changing.
mappers, like the top, of the scoreboard, like the mappers who are top of the scoreboard gets a lot of hate. I think it's. I know it started
But
from.
LV and Dylan, I'm
remember
pretty
when,
sure
Mope-
didn't
It's not
got much
necessarily
hate when
true.
they were first.
It
'Cause,
started
yeah,
when Mope fell. Like Mope was good, but when people like let's say Nick HD overtook Mope, people he started bragging about it, and people hate on him. And then when Nick HD being overtook by some other people, they hate on the fans of Nick HD and everyone else to hate on that guy, and it keeps piling up. Like, say, why does this guy have top place? The mapper that I like should deserve this top place. This is why I hate this mapper.
Yeah.
yeah, literally most of the people hate you for that.
I mean, I
But
guess,
this
I don't know.
wasn't
Like I
the
said,
case
like
with
Imperial
Dylan
Mapping
and
got
Dylan, they
popular
were
because
first place.
he was the
Also,
Okay.
some mappers on the top of the scoreboards.
I'm
actually
saying
do shit,
Daniel
like,
Mapper got popular because he was the first one to do an alternate future of the world in country balls.
I mean,
I mean,
he would have became like the #1 if he didn't quit like the
Yeah,
first.
he had.
Yeah,
if he
yeah,
had
yeah,
the
another-
Romanian, I mean, Daniel Mapper had one more hour or one more day just to get enough subscribers just to surpass #1. He was so close. He was like hours away. But he failed at
No.
that.
One time he was like a few away, and then the massive sub purge, and then he was like 400 away. And then when he got close to that, then he deleted his channel.
Who was
it's so-
I remember there was
It's
one
so
mapper.
close, man. It's so
There was one
close.
mapper that
Why,
got like
Daniel?
90% of their subs wiped away in a purge.
Golden Mapper.
I think that was like it was like another Romanian guy. I think it was
Yeah,
like
it was-
X Christie.
Yeah.
That guy's
Yeah.
stuff was poop.
Rip.
No, don't.
Hey,
it was
anyhow-
I never knew
Yeah.
to get.
Galek got
Sometimes I wish that
Galek
YouTube-
has an interesting question. How many times have you said, "I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna map," and then make the first slide and then stop?
Yeah.
I
Well,
did
I
that all
don't. I
the
don't
time.
make
I
slides
do that all
anymore,
the
but I
time.
have like many times where like open the After Effects thing. I added like a couple of keyframes, then I close it again.
Hey.
I mean, that's why,
in my
this is
mapping-
Okay, Aiden brings up a good point. A lot of
in my
hates.
mapping 2015 versus
Guys, don't
2015,
talk over each other, please.
I touched on that.
Come on.
I mean,
Stop talking over each other.
to answer Anne's question, that's why you will never see an episode from me, most likely.
I mean, I don't do that. I work in blocks. Like there will be, okay, I'm really gonna go crazy here. I'm gonna reboot everything, and just gonna be a renaissance of cosmic mapping. Then I work on something for like 2 months, and then I just shut down for like.
I mean,
a life.
to be honest,
Well,
Doctor,
You've almost finished alternate future of the US, right?
Yes, these almost.
I mean,
guys,
to
almost.
be honest,
He's in the editing process. He has his PC,
You know,
he
I
has his
have
new
I have
software.
these two. Like I do like 3 minutes of the video in like I don't know 5 hours, and then I stop. I just stop.
I mean,
I used to be able to work like 12 hours straight, and
Oh
then
my God.
now I can't. I just can't do it.
How do you
To
do
be
that?
honest-
He brings up a good point. Like, you know, like the community for mappers, right?
Goman has an interesting question. Did you
Okay.
thought about making something more than just mapping on your channels?
I mean, I'm trying to
Yeah,
make like
I
a.
did. But
Yeah,
I'm trying to shift into
Yeah,
like
I did.
animation.
I
for
actually
And
want to
music.
talk.
All right, guys, hold on a second. One at a
Everyone,
time.
everyone.
Okay, I'm going to start because I said so. I for a
Voting
time played
leadership.
around. I for a time played around with the thought of quitting mapping and doing point ball animations instead. But then I thought that would require me to actually hand draw the country boards, and I ditched it.
Okay, so everyone says that no
You
one is
still
talking.
anime country balls.
So I thought about maybe making more like not mapping alternate history scenarios because I like history like as a topic. So I thought about talking about that one or maybe gameplay, but not really. And I want to talk about alternate history in the future. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually considering about quitting because I just can't do it. After chapter 2, I will be out, I guess.
I think a lot of problems is like you look at something and say, oh, I want to do this, but then when you find out how tedious it is to do it, you just stop.
I will say I have a strategy for that's kind of worked for me. And what you got to do is you got to switch it up with what you're working on. If you work on the
Blobs.
same project, blobs. If you work on the same project for so long and you're just continuously working for the same script or whatever that you wrote forever ago, that becomes soul crushing. You got to switch it up and work on different things to keep yourself excited and passionate, or else you just
actually that ruined it for me because I was just working on different series basically ruined my entire motivation for some weird
I
reason.
think so. Why was that?
I had 3 series planned, and I knew that it was way too much, and I was in the feel of writing one character or one set of characters, and then I switched to the other one, and it got really messy. That's the thing.
That's
I
a
think your
disadvantage. You know, there are pros and
5
cons.
hours mapping video is one thing.
Yeah, it's just, you got to keep yourself engaged, and I guess sometimes, Imperial has a point. It can get convoluted. When you have different shows, you do kind of enter separate headspaces for when you're writing different characters, and it can be hard to go between those back and forth, but I don't know, at least personally, you got to keep yourself excited, and just doing the same thing, focusing down the same thing can kind of burn yourself out.
Yeah, I think that's a problem with me now. I'm starting to a point where like slowly either because I'm running out of ideas or people are getting bored of the same thing. So
Basically, it's everyone
I
else.
get fatigued a lot. Like now, I'm at a point where I can't even work 12 hours straight. I can work like 3 hours straight, and then I just need to stop.
Yeah, I used to just straight up edit for like 15 hours. That's all my other videos I got done in like a day-long session of just editing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have to break it up now, man.
I remember I worked for 20 hours straight, but now I can't even work for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a
Like
I
after
think
1
the
minute,
more
you're
you do
basically
it,
done.
like sure you might. I think we start lose like the initial motivation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why you gotta try
The
to
thing is,
do different things, keep yourself motivated.
once I start, I can work 6 hours straight, but going to the start is the problem itself.
Mapping is a hub.
Everyone has
Remember
their
that.
own
Personally,
problems.
nothing is more soul crushing when you're working on a project than getting like just stuck at the tiniest little detail. Whether that be
Exactly.
a writing detail.
Basically me.
That's
Basically
the problem
me.
I
Yeah.
had in my first videos, but then I found that more fun to deal with sometimes.
I
Dead
plan.
Yeah, that's
Although it's
that's
still
like
annoying.
that's like the thing. If I get to a point where I have to animate, that's like a little bit more complicated. I often enough say fuck this and close the After Effects document.
Yeah, legit.
Sometimes
That's what happens to me right every single
This is how I
time.
make videos now. Okay, I have a scene for this part. Okay, once I finish this scene, I'm done. I'm not gonna do the next scene. I write down what I want to do the next scene, but I don't do it.
Like
I do it the next day.
I have this shit I do that really annoys me. I will obsess over literal milliseconds in the editing. So I'm constantly switching like, okay, should this slide be 2.4 or 2.5? And I'll like switch between that over and over again. No, it doesn't feel right. Okay, this song needs to fade out this point. Not at that point, this isn't feeling right. And I get stuck in that stupid headspace for like 2 days. And then bye 2 days of editing.
2 days.
Hey,
There they go.
guys, one of the people asked that what does MapperCast think of the World War II shooter game Heroes and Generals?
Never
Okay.
played it.
Here's my stance on that. That game,
Never.
I played that for a while. I think I have like 30 hours or something on that.
Yeah, me and Veteran played it
I
as
just,
well.
Yeah,
I
I remember
playing
me
it a
and
few
Mindria
days
used to
ago.
play it back then. I think like we gathered a group of mappers and we played a whole German squad or something. I remember when me and Mindria were riding in a large car with like Zephyr, Zukas. I think Mr. Owner and Ponder were in it too. We were all riding on the car and then we all blew up for no reason.
Remember the
that's-
wait.
We hit a rock.
Wait.
We hit a rock on the road and and our car blew up.
I thought you
Remember the
grenade.
fucking Macedonian
That's
bicycle squad.
That's kind of what.
Oh, my Berdonian tricycle squad. I remember that.
Yeah.
We all used to like me and some other mappers like gather like a whole bunch of bikes and we just all ride into the battle.
Here's the thing about that game. Like, I love to death the concept of that
We
game.
all died though.
Every
Yeah.
little fight is a larger contribution to this war. I love that shit, but I despise its reliance on the resources that the generals give you. Because if you go into a battle and you don't have the resources, then
But it makes sense
fucked.
though, right? It makes sense though, right?
I mean, it makes sense, but it's
But
boring.
only when in the war mode, in the elite mode.
I guess.
it does that because it needs to use a sync. And,
Yeah, if you don't like that, just play Assault.
Before we move to
but my only quarrel with the game is that Germany became underpowered. Like they made the Allies, like the Americans and the Russians. I mean the Soviets. They made them too OP in the game. They like you can literally. There's a rifle in the game. You just imagine the M1 Grand, except that it can rapid fire like a machine gun.
I don't know.
And you have a scope on it. You can
I didn't
usually
want to be fascist.
snipe people with a machine gun. That's pretty much it.
You know,
The German army doesn't have
We're
that.
getting too long here. We should probably.
Before we go to
Before we
I
close
just-
it
I
off,
just
let me
want to
just
say
say
one
this.
Germany being underpowered, I usually see them win the wars.
But that's only back then, but only like afterwards. Like 90% of the time, 95% of the time, the Germany loses the wars because
Yeah, but-
they keep being pushed on both sides by the Soviet Union and Americans.
Yeah, the last two wars I saw where Germany
Which
won. and
wars?
I-
Is it like the 501, 502?
It was
War
like
502?
it was like the normal war elite stuff. I don't know.
Well, there's
not
like
ranked-
a certain
not
number of
ranked
wars
10
in the
yet,
game.
so-
So far, I'm not sure how much wars it right now. I think it's around war 600, like the 600th war or something like that. World War 600.
Okay, I was gonna say
Anyhow,
before we move to the quiz, there are a couple questions we kept getting over and over again. I kind of want to get to them so they don't feel ignored. First
Yeah.
one, someone kept asking me what I think of Hillary Clinton. I'm not a fan of her. I don't like her brand of neoliberal hackism. Don't like that at all. I will say I will prefer her over the reality show president. So, you know, there you go. Do with that what
World
you
Wrestling
I want to
Federation
share
host.
some of my screenshots. Speaking of heroes and generals,
Then the other one we kept getting was someone was asking what we all think of, what was it? Why can't I? Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbows.
okay, so this is
I never
me
played it.
sneaking up on an allied tank with my
That's right.
tank grenade. I usually run around with tank grenades in the game, and I just sneak up to tanks and keep throwing grenades at them until they blow up.
Okay, we need to do the quiz while you.
But anyhow, before
we
we
need to
close
wrap
it
up.
off,
Oh, the quiz. I will
can I
win.
just
Okay.
You're
Alright,
not allowed
yeah,
to participate
let
if you are a
Alp say
guest.
something.
See,
am I not
14
allowed-
kills. I got 14 kills, 6 deaths. Whatever.
Am I not
16
allowed to
kills.
participate?
Yeah, because
you
because you
can't
don't have the
participate.
stream lag to deal
Yes.
with.
Ah,
27.
that's a shame.
Viper.
anyhow,
So before, let Alp say what he's going to say, because he's been waiting to say this.
I will be finishing off the whole episode I plan in one go, and then most like the movie maker will crash, and then I will give up my soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sounds about my.
All right, everybody, let's do this. So, here we go. Here's the quiz. You guys know how it is. Ooh, that rhymed. That wasn't intentional. So,
Alright.
if you're a
Thank you.
guest, you cannot participate, first of all.
Yeah,
Sad.
that means you're Imperial.
One
Yeah.
day you will watch those 5 hours. One day.
No,
Just 5 hours.
get away from me.
Okay, so question one, fan winner. Whoever gets this right on the next episode, you will be able to send us a topic that will be guaranteed to be discussed on the next episode. So whoever wins, just contact us on Twitter or Discord, yada yada. You can find us anywhere. So, first question: what is the first mapping video ever created? It's fairly easy.
They have to say it with like the full name and all.
Yeah, it has to be the
Morning,
full
yeah.
name.
Can't
Just
say
copy
who.
the title. Just copy the title.
Yeah, that's copy the title.
If you know the
Oh, jeez, that doesn't count.
That isn't even right.
Yeah, that
and
isn't
there
even
were
right.
alternate
Merv,
alternate
oh my
future and alternate
God.
history didn't exist back then. It had actually a different name.
Yeah.
I love how it just said Mervenue.
Yeah, literally. And it isn't even correct. The name isn't even correct.
CROATIA wasn't right. Alternate videos of the furry nation. Thanks.
It was,
Wait,
it was
what?
like
Coronation
a-
Man, I could have copied this question long ago. Man,
You have to put the full name in chat.
damn it.
I mean, I know it, but I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like
If
Hey,
no one, if
Ain,
no one
really?
gets it, I
Ain
will.
again? Okay.
Okay, oh my
Hey,
god.
Ian.
Ain got it. Wow.
Hey,
Again.
Ian.
Ain is just
Jesus.
cleaning up
Actually,
house.
fuck
I
it.
swear to God. He's just always winning this shit. All right. Congratulations, Ain. World War I and II simulation with MS Paint. Let's move on.
No more
You
Aeon
love this.
winning.
You love
Okay,
this.
no more aim. Please don't
You love
accept him.
this.
We
Yeah.
need to
We're
ban
gonna
AM
ask that
from the
you.
chat.
We're gonna for the mapper winner. We're gonna ask that you don't do this, Ain. So let's give someone else a chance.
Yeah, please. Hang
Yeah.
I
So
was
Mapper
wrong.
winner.
People can see the name right there.
Huh?
Never mind.
Whoever wins this, we will discuss one of your series on the next episode of MapperCast. Please only answer this if you have a show that we have not yet reviewed. Please don't answer if you have no videos. That always happens, and it's painful.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's painful.
So here we go. What are Void Vipers 2 series that I did voice acting for?
Oh.
Oh, really?
Oh, that, no.
Really?
I know one series, but the
voice
second-
I know them.
Oh,
You acted
no.
I
You
know.
once
the-
acted
I
in
know
2
it.
series.
I asked them.
I did.
Yeah, I know that. One of
I
them
only
is.
remember one, to be honest.
Same.
Forget
To be honest,
about
I don't
it.
remember any
To be
voice
fair,
acting
You
series
don't have
at all.
to put you don't have to do the episodes. You just have to get the series.
If
This is
no one
actually
actually
hard.
gets it.
Frozen mapping. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's.
Lasagna.
You have to give both of them. You can't just do one.
Well, I would have lost. I would have
He
lost
shouldn't
the
even be.
first
The Iron shouldn't even be like answering. He isn't even a mapper.
Oh well, we got conflicting answers.
Who? Which one is it?
But you don't.
The problem is
Should I even
You say both at the
Yeah,
same
box.
time, not just one.
Uh,
Imperialis, you're on the wrong fucking question.
Okay, no.
You're on the
Okay, wait. Do we
Wait, this
count-
guy's trolling. Yeah, Imperial
Wait,
Office is
do,
trolling.
wait,
Imperial Office
pause.
is
Do
trolling.
we
It's not even
count
close.
just one sentence, or do we count both? Because this person wrote the first one and the second one.
Do you think we should count that?
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
counted.
I don't know.
It was
Okay,
too
yes,
hard.
he got it.
Oh, he got it.
Alan Kohler Games, Vlogs, and More got it.
Does he have a
Okay,
show?
Check your
Europe.
video.
Does he have a
And-
show?
What the?
That
No,
just
he has a show.
What is that face?
It's good.
If he has a mapping. Does he
Okay,
have a
let's-
mapping?
let's see if he
I mean,
actually has.
okay, yes.
Yes,
If he
country
doesn't-
balls.
Does he have a show? If he doesn't,
No,
have
he
a show,
doesn't.
No, he
Why
doesn't
would
have a
you
show.
answer
Answer it.
why
Yes,
would
why-
you answer the question? You don't have a show.
If you don't have a show, you don't answer the question.
Those people make me sick.
Why do we have?
They-
Are we gonna have to?
He
review
has shows.
No,
but
we
not-
can't
but-
reveal
Yeah,
them.
I
It
like
doesn't
country
have a
balls.
mapping
Has
series.
country balls.
Honestly, I like that thumbnail.
You like the thumbnail?
Yeah.
No.
He has country balls.
Can we do MapperCast review next week? Can we do MapperCast review?
That's
Please,
just,
I don't want to review this. No.
What are those?
No.
What are those?
I mean, I
Oh my
think
God.
I want to kill myself if you do that.
guys, I think we're gonna have to review the country ball show.
No.
I mean,
Oh,
I
no,
don't
no, I got a better idea.
No.
I got a better idea. Make
No,
that person pick a
I will end you personally.
Okay, we're gonna
Okay, fuck it, we're going to-
no.
Shut all the hell up. We're going to review Jabul next week.
okay. Let's let
Right, I will
let's
end
let Viper make the decision because he is the host.
Make them choose a mapper.
oh,
Oh, God.
please choose me.
Yeah, everyone choose.
No,
yeah,
no,
choose.
I'm not
Jeb
watching
Bush.
it. Oh my god.
If you fucking choose him, I'm going to quit the MapperCast.
Wait, hold on. This guy say clumsy. Say it first. Let's see.
Choose me.
No, he didn't.
Me.
Choose Batran. I'm kidding. I choose
Choose
Mervu.
Yeah,
Jabul.
this is
Choose,
Aggravated.
choose Jeb Bush.
Choose Jab.
Yes,
Choose
Jab.
Mervu.
I
Murray.
don't know why I still have this up.
Let's
All
review
right,
Mervu.
Alan can pick. It has to be the Alan Kohler Games.
Does he even
Vlogs,
know
and
that
More.
he has the opportunity to pick?
What?
All right, he wants us to. Whoopty, is that a person? Whoopty 55.
No.
No.
Does that go to something terrible?
No.
I'm probably.
You
Four.
unleashed a horrible fate on MapperCast.
No.
Yes.
Just
Okay,
no.
hold on. Is this a
Stop.
person? Is this an
This
actual
is
mapper?
this is
It's
Yeah, that's
porn.
no.
Porn.
All right, he picked.
Kidding.
He picked it.
Okay.
Yeah, he has an awful
It's
future
not a real
anyways.
person.
No.
It's not a real
No,
person.
it's not. Yeah, it is. Look,
Cosmic. He's actually not that small.
whoop-de-doo. Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
even small. He's got
What to do is
3,000.
Porn.
But
Okay, we're doing this guy, I guess.
How I make mapping videos.
Oh no.
the horrible fate on mapping is established.
No.
This is the dark day.
Wait,
It's a party for
wait, where's this
What
mapping
the fuck
Dark
video?
Day
that you
for
would have been
MapperCast.
chosen?
Which one? Is it AFOUS?
We can pick whatever one.
AFOUS?
Please.
Okay.
After, let's pick the alternate future of the
yeah,
United States.
this is certainly interesting to say the least.
Oh no.
Alp.
Oh, damn it.
I hate you so much.
Stop sharing.
Okay, we should have just made
I'm gonna brush my
MapperCast
teeth
review
at
next
3
week.
o'clock.
Well,
Want
we
to
did it.
announce in 2 weeks, Jeb Bush is on the MapperCast.
Yeah, confirmed status.
Okay.
And
It happened.
after Mervu, maybe next week. I don't know.
Yeah, Jeb
Hopefully
Bush.
that'll be
Don't
Tigers.
forget it's Mervenue.
So I
Mervu
guess
Murray.
I'll say some stuff about
Murphy
Tiger
Murray.
Star and Merview real quick. Merview
Murray is like French. It's like Murray.
Merview is supposed to come on next week. Excuse
Fingers crossed.
For,
But,
for those who don't know who Merview is, he's the first mapper ever.
Star on this, like
Tiger Star actually he wants to come on next week. Like he asked if he could come on next week, but that's Merview. We can't have Tiger Star and Merview on the same show. So I'm
What
gonna
if
be,
we
What if we do?
What if we do? What if we do?
we can't do that because then like why would we don't want to make Tiger Star sit around while we interview Merview.
That's whatever. I mean,
That's true, actually.
But you could
Then
Also-
Tiger Star
also
could-
management, spreading out the popularity of videos. I'm kidding.
That is a factor as well, I guess. So and then I have to leave town on the
Don't put all
29th.
your eggs in one basket.
So I guess right now I'm gonna see like maybe if Viper can host on the 28th, and then we can get Tiger Star to agree to that. That's what's going on that front. It's kind of
Don't do the 28th. We'll have Jeb Bush on. Remember? Actually, 29.
well, I have to leave on the 29th. which
No.
is
Saturday.
aggravating.
But 28th is Saturday. I have work on Saturday.
Oh shit, you do.
Guys, we nearly have 50 people watching.
Wow,
Wow,
fucking.
for the end of the show.
Wow.
46. See, it retained itself.
Still alive.
Alright.
Give MapperCast
People
some love.
want a good taste of KFC.
Oh, guys, MapperCast's dying. Oh, no.
Oh, MapperCast is dying, guys.
MapperCast is dying.
Hey, if we get
MapperCast is
70
dying.
watchers, I'll do the Billy.
Did in the start.
If we
Yeah,
if we do this, if we do get 70 watchers by the end, well, before we stop this, I'll do the Billie Jean dance.
Dude. That's
Hey,
Hey,
how-
he wants to hear
Or
guitar
end
solo.
of this episode. Actually,
That's right,
end it
no.
right now.
No.
End it right now. End it right now.
Underestimate the power of the internet.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, you already did.
I
Cosmic, did you just block your sister from the chat?
wait, that's his sister.
Yeah, that's my sister.
How bad
That
of a brother
information should
can
be
you
declassified.
fucking be?
Yeah, how can?
It's fine. We have a family
it's
dynamic
fine.
that makes it okay.
MapperCast is dying.
MapperCast is
MapperCast is killing
Oh,
itself.
what should we do? Oh, okay, should we do the after party today?
Mapper-
The plug DJ.
Can you guys hear me?
No.
Oh, what the hell? My mic just broke. I was like, come on, guys, let me do the outro. I was doing that.
Dead, man.
Oh,
Again.
damn it.
Congratulations, boys.
When did I cut off? When did I cut off?
A while
We
ago.
haven't been talking for a while.
Every
Did
while
I
ago.
say anything during the quiz?
No.
No.
Guys, by the way, good news. I
Wait,
got my
what?
driver's
Really?
license.
I was saying let Alan pick. You guys did not
Oh
hear
yeah,
that?
you were saying that. Yeah,
When did I
You were
stop
saying
talking?
that.
I don't even know.
I guess a little bit after the quiz.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I was like, we reached the end of the podcast. Sorry, so let me do the outro now.
The podcast
Oh,
is
by the
2
way,
hours
guys,
long.
good
Is
news.
this the
I
part where we all
got my
agree?
driver's license.
So
Hey.
okay, guys. So thanks for tuning in on the 51st
That means I can drive
podcast.
down to Cosmic
Guys,
House.
let me
Okay,
do the
okay.
outro.
Let's break
Let-
this off.
Let me do the
Yay.
outro. Let me do the outro. And then next week, assuming everything goes well, Mervu Moraine, the very first mapper, should be joining us. Hope you
Fingers
guys
crossed.
will
Should.
be excited for that.
Sure.
Should,
Should.
yeah. We don't
We
know.
can't
He might
promise anything.
postpone again, but hopefully he'll come. And yeah, so hope everyone enjoys that. Thanks for tuning in and see you next week. Ending stream in
Don't
5,
forget to join the after.
4.